What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one never knows best, bring you another Dragon Ball FighterZ video, and once again joined by a very large number of guests. We were previously joined by Nitro as well, but he actually had to take off. He's going to go run some people's pockets and end the game, actually, after talking about how much the game sucks. But yes, I'm here for basically, I'm calling this part 2, but that first part might actually get split up into 2 parts, so this might actually be part 3. But regardless, here today to make a community tier list, as you guys can tell, for the characters in the game that we believe need to be buffed or slightly buffed or need some sort of bug fix or change, characters who should stay the same, ones that need a slight nerf, and characters who should just straight up be nerfed. And so once again, you have myself, and I'm joined by Cloud, Dekillsage, Inzem, Jake, Ryan, Kalimac, Kasuga, Pred, OBAssassin. We're pretty certain Wade fell asleep, and Zane. So yeah, with that being said, I don't know how you guys want to do it. I figure probably the easiest way is to just go in the order the characters are listed here. So I agree. We'll just go straight like that. So first of all, Android 16. How are we feeling?
I think he's fine.
Yeah, I think
he's fine. He's good.
Sage, how do you feel about 16 right now?
Is he dead?
Sage? Oh, he might have died too.
All right, OB, how do you feel about 16?
That's actually a great question because he currently plays the character.
That's true. Honestly, he's really good. So honestly, I'll make him stay the same. I do want buffs from him, like 2 buffs, which are to give his old 5H back because it's really needed.
I feel like that's a
meta.
I feel like that's a big buff.
Yeah, but it's really needed in this meta. It's really needed.
Wait, doesn't his
that's how bad it is.
Doesn't his command grab go through Key Blast though?
But it got
it does, but only the grounded version.
Gotcha.
Only the grounded version, yeah.
Having like all those hits of armor would be kind of crazy.
I think that's why he wants it. So.
No, but I feel though, like in a game where Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Layered exists and Lab Code exists, like I understand why he feels that way.
I actually think that that's something we need to discuss before we even continue the tier list. Are we talking in regards to the way the game is now, or
in the way the game is now?
Yeah, how the game is now.
Yeah, this is under the idea that, so the first part was just the discussion we just had. It doesn't necessarily fall in line with this. It's just about us having a conversation of like what we hope to see, what we expect to see, or what would be ideal to us. This is under the impression that that more realistic changes that we could possibly expect, or how we feel the game needs to progress, that and that we think will actually happen.
Wait, so I have a question real quick. Yeah, you go first.
Okay, Obi, do you want it to be like season 1, like he go through beam, or do you want it to even beat guard cancel? Because if I remember correctly, it definitely used to beat guard cancel because the armor was like long enough.
I feel like the guard cancel is a little OD, but go on.
It did, but
yeah, that's
I was
why
actually
I'm asking.
Yeah, but no, it's true. It used to do that, but it would be cool for it to go through beams now, in a silly manner that is. Like he really needs it when Lapcock can just spin.
But you do feel like for the most part he's in a pretty good spot. Honestly,
I think he does. It's just like he needs to work a lot harder than Neutral, but he's really strong. That's what I'm saying. He should stay the same. But the one buff I really want, and honestly he does need it, is his anti-air to go through Key Blast.
The anti-air one?
His anti-air command grab?
Yeah.
The one that's 7-frame low?
No, what?
Yes. or sorry, a 6-frame low. My fault.
It's a 6-frame.
Yeah, it's 6 frames. So.
My fault.
Yeah, it's a 6-frame. Right?
I don't know if I agree with that one, but you know.
Well, also,
I mean, if he made his
that move actually also combos. It said that move combos on trade too.
I'm a firm believer anti-air and Key Blast both should never exist on the same move, realistically.
Yeah.
But the question I wanted to ask before we actually like continued is: are we talking about this in the context of the game right now, or the context of the change?
I literally just said
No, wait. So I meant like, if Vegito gets nerfed and we want his assist nerfed, are we talking about like, all right, so Gogeta as the game is right now with Vegito assist, he should be nerfed like this, or like, okay, if Vegito assist is nerfed, he needs these changes too.
That's going to be part of the conversation. That's something that I'm going to want to bring up as we dive more into this, because obviously I'm pretty sure the majority of us, if not all of us in here, agree that the top 4, and again, there's part of a conversation, there's a tangent to this, are Vegito, both Gogetas, and Lapco, right? However, despite us considering those the top 4, there are a few characters, in my opinion, that we'll get to, that if those top 4 get dumpstered, there's a couple other characters who kind of need to come down a little bit as well, even though as they are right now in the context of the game, I think they're fine as they are. But if Vegito and the Gogetas and Lapco get gutted, then there's a couple characters, so I'm like, I might need to come down a little bit too, just to keep things in check. So as it stands, it's us talking about in the current context of the game where the character needs to go up or down. And then I guess as we continue to talk, we can say, okay, but if this character gets that changed, then this character needs this change. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be like a dynamic, progressive conversation, like as the tier list goes on.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because my opinions actually change a lot if it's like talking about like if this happens, then this character realistically might need a change too.
Yeah, and I feel that way as well. And like I said, there's a handful of characters that I know that I want to talk about in that way as well. But for the most part, I think we feel like 16 is actually in a pretty good spot. Obviously, and there's going to be characters in here that'll probably be and stay the same. Obviously, if you play the character, and this goes for Twitch, YouTube, all of you guys, and everyone in here as well. If you're a main of the character, yeah, you're going to want to see the character get buffed, right? But also, as it stands in the game, like, do they need it? Probably not. So there'll be a lot of characters in this tier who, yeah, you'd like to see them buffed, but they're kind of fine as they are. So I think for now, that's where we'll leave 16.
And that's exactly why I want the 50 to be the same.
Right.
I think something cool for the commenters too, because if you do play this character as a main, like, leave in the comments, like, if you think a buff is there and you have justifications, like, we want to hear everybody.
Oh yeah, but by all means, feel free to drop me as many comments as you guys would like, telling me, no, this character needs this change because XYZ reason, and this, you know what I'm saying? And whether you're biased towards a character or not, because I read all of my comments, or the vast majority of them. I don't reply to every single comment like I used to, because obviously brother ain't got the time to sit here and reply to 200-300 comments a day like I wasn't getting that many before, but you know what I'm saying. But I do definitely read a lot of them, so I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. And then, hey, maybe at some point there'll be some sort of follow-up to all of this. So, you know what I'm saying, hit that like button for your boy. Moving on, though, we have Android 17, and I think I already know where a majority of people stand on this one, because I've seen a lot of conversation, and
this nerf.
Everyone wants his assist nerfed. Am I correct?
Think that's on his assist. The rest can stay the same.
Yeah, I think he's fine. It just slightly nothing about the assist, and everything else is literally fine about.
Yeah. That's all.
So are we putting assist nerf and slight nerf?
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna call it slight nerf.
Okay.
Also, real quick, it's safe to assume that we're all going to say Vegito, the Gogetas, and Lapcode are all going to get nerfed. Can we just like openly just say more than likely this is just going to be assuming those four get the big nerfs that we're all hoping for, then we're looking at everybody else. Is it just going to be easier to just put it like that?
That was my question earlier, though. That's what I'm saying. We're talking about the state of the game now, as opposed to what we would want it to be if certain characters were nerfed. We would say we were talking about the game as is currently, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do y'all want to start with the top four? Is that what y'all asking?
No. We can just go down the line here.
Okay, we can go down. Okay.
Let's just go down the line.
I see no problem.
Android 18, she needs to stay exactly the same as she is. No need for any nerfs of any kind. And so moving on to Android 21. How do we feel about Android 21? Okay. All right.
Let me touch on this character just because of my perspective. I've played just a lot of experience. I like that she is strong. I think that's great. With the state of the game, I feel like other characters need to have access to level 3 Oki like she does, just so that, like, you know, level playing field. The fact that she can get it off of like any active switch into that level 3 is very, very strong, which is good. We want strong characters. I like that. The only thing I would want to nerf about her is just the recovery on the fucking barrier calls. Calling her brother. They fucking swung that shit. You shut your fucking mouth, right?
I feel like
you shouldn't be able to do barrier into barrier into barrier. Come on.
No, but the thing is,
that's it. That's the only nerf.
Come on.
It wouldn't change that much
the
because.
Only nerf, bro.
No, but can I talk because I play the character, please?
No, you're not allowed.
No. Let him talk, because I think he has obviously very good insight as somebody who plays. I would say he offers great insight as somebody who plays the character at the highest level. So I actually really want to hear what he has to say.
It's not going to change that much because literally that's her RPS because she either land with Key Blast and or that. So if you add recovery, it won't change that much. To me, if you want to nerf the move, just nerf the meter build from 17. So at least when you hit it, you won't build like 5 bar or 4 bar, something like that. It will be something like at best put a cap, put it max 1 bar. So at least you won't level 3 you every time and you will feel the change, but nerf the recovery is pointless because literally she put you in RPS with that move.
I think it's
either nerf the recovery or nerf how fast his barrier actually activates. Either or.
No, they won't nerf the recovery because they literally buffed it last patch and
I was going to say that's them taking a step back on a change they went out of their way to make. And like, if
I personally think she stays the same, by the way. But
I also think she stays the same.
That would be the only thing I adjust. Just a little more delay on that barrier.
Is there anyone who feels strongly that there's something about her that needs to be toned down?
I think she is fine how she is.
Bugging. Anyway, you guys all play 18 anyways.
Jake don't play 18.
I'm with Jake. That barrier needs to be toned down.
No, literally all you guys that stay the same all play her. It is crazy.
Okay, so what needs to change, Brad?
No, I agree with Jake. I think the 17 assist code needs to be nerfed, and I also agree with Kasuga. I actually don't think she should be able to get like 10 meters off calling her brother.
I mean, yeah, I think that's fair, nerfing the amount of meter that she can gain off of it.
The thing from Jake is literally she has the same things as Vegito, is like she can carry JS into 17, and if you add recovery, she will be inside the barrier, so it won't matter. Like even if you put recovery, she'll be fine. Like she's inside the barrier, there is not that much that you can do.
But yeah, that's what I said. The recovery won't actually do that much to her.
No, but it does, because the only thing it changes is like, yes, now she has a safe option of landing and stuff, but now she also can't offensively do something while having a safe landing.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't normally offensively do anything.
Well, I don't think anyone is exactly worried about the Tiger Knee 17 call specifically.
I mean, I feel like you guys should be as people who have to fight Kasuga and Nitro.
99% of the time, when she uses barrier, she uses it to protect her landings because the barrier is so active. Adding recovery to it won't actually change the game plan that much unless you make the recovery like damn near towards the end of the barrier, which guts the move completely. So you don't do that. Realistically, the only time you get offensive pressure from that move is when somebody presses on the barrier. Like that's when that's when it becomes like a bad situation.
Which is your fault for mashing.
Yeah, it's your fault. I do think she should have the chance to punish you for trying to press on the barrier.
I want a correct way to approach it and punish. Like I don't want to.
Wait, there is a correct way though.
And I still don't get a punish. Like that shit's annoying.
Like, so the correct way is that her mid range, even with the 5M change, is not strong enough to the point where you're supposed to just stay away from her. You can realistically stay within like zone 2 of her and just stare at her every time she does it and like walk her down. Like the weakness of that move is if they keep retreating with it, eventually their back's going to be to the corner. And it does already have a weakness to teleporting normals or moves and anti-air moves. Like there's like specifically designed moves that will just defeat the barrier already. So
you mean anti-air grabs because she's going to throw 5 bars.
Sorry, anti-air grabs. So like moves that teleport, like Blue Gogeta's 5H and hits 5H will beat it. Moves that are designed to go through assists will actually beat it because 17 is considered an assist as long as it doesn't hit the barrier.
Also the fusions and those characters, those can beat it.
So hit Blue Gogeta, Red Gogeta, anyone with the anti-air grab, which is even more common, can do it. Like there is pretty set weaknesses of the move. Like I think I do think 17 how fast it comes out.
Very specific characters though.
It's so fast.
There shouldn't be a. I feel like there shouldn't be a universal answer to it though, because at that point it's just one of those moves where like they're gonna do it, but you can't really do much about it right now. Like, that exists in a lot of fighting games. That's not uncommon. That exists in a lot of fighting games.
I know.
In a lot of them. That's just a kind of a common thing.
That's what I thought you said. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Lotus, to me, it's unfair to put like 18 in stay the same and 17 in slightly nerf. While meanwhile 17 it's literally only the assist the issue. While 18 there is more issues than him. That's why I'm like I don't really agree on that placement. Like I don't agree on 17 placement. 18 should stay the same, but we should definitely add a assist nerf because 17 is.
Do you all feel like we should just have a separate category for just assist nerf?
Yeah, it's weird to have 17 like on slightly nerf. Meanwhile, a lot of characters.
I think adding an assist nerf, assist buff section would be good.
Yeah,
we can do that.
Assist buff. I actually don't know what it is.
I would say Frieza.
There's a few assists that need some buffs, like Bardock.
I know which ones. We'll get there. I have my cases already pled. Don't worry. We're good. I can't wait to tell you about Cooler B assist.
She should not be getting 3 bars off. 3 key blasts ever.
To me, that's the best nerf. Like literally, that's the best nerf. Put a cap on the meter build she got from that barrier, and that's it. Because other than that, you can't really nerf the move for like realistically. Because before it wasn't like that, and the move was really meh. That was like, why are you using it? It's not that good. And now it's too good, but just because she built a lot of bar.
Wait, but hear me out, Kasuga. she has infinite energy.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
You know what?
That has
You're
no-
spitting. She should be
No, no, no.
passively gaining meter the entire time she's on screen.
Y'all think
Indeed.
I'm trolling, but it's
Just go
surprise,
play-
surprise.
just
The
go
two
play the
androids
mod,
build
then.
a
Just go play
shit
the
ton of
mod.
meter.
No.
Wow.
No. I think you make a great point because that is something that is consistent throughout Dragon Ball games where they try to apply stuff from the lore
Yeah,
or from
but
the characters
they
into
do.
the game, right?
No, no,
But
no.
obviously,
I'm not justifying. I'm just saying it's
No,
very
no.
obvious why that's like that.
no, and I agree. But obviously, there's got to be some nuance to it and a bit more of a well, there's just it's supposed to be competitive, right? So there has to be some sort of like extra balance to it where you can't. We're not still playing Budokai 3 where you can have all this goofy shit, right? Well, granted, it's not like Budokai 3 is like the most imbalanced game ever, but you know what I'm saying? This game takes a lot of lore and stuff into account. That's why certain moves do a certain amount of damage, like 18 doing 1800 damage or 21 doing a 21% debuff or 21% boost and shit like that. But it's not, it's within the confines of the game, still trying to be somewhat competitive.
Yeah.
And if I can ask for something, I want them to bring 18A like it was in season 1 and not that garbage as it is now. Because they've buffed 17 startup and they have nerfed it for no reason, and now she's not winning meter when you use it, and before she was definitely building meter as an assist when you called her, and it makes no sense. It's not the case anymore.
Yo, wait, Obi, what do you think 18 should be? You think she stay the same or she get slightly
Bro,
nerfed?
please mute him, please.
No. I want to continue. All right, I already know he was gonna say something.
Mike is moving, but I can't.
I would say his mic lit up, but I didn't hear him say anything.
Yeah.
For sure. Good talk.
I will go on for days, but I'm just gonna say the barrier.
Okay. See,
Listen,
but
I'm
this is
just
what I'm
gonna
also
say
saying. Like,
nerf the barrier bullshit, man.
yeah, I think
Oh,
three people.
I was say like I'm not opposed to putting her in the slightly nerfed category. I do want to mention that depending on like some of the changes, because we might agree that a character might need a slight change. I feel like there's a certain connotation that comes with being put in a category that says buff or nerf. So I do want to say that there's a character that we feel like needs a very, very minor change that they might just still stay in the mostly the same category. But I honestly, I'm not opposed to putting 18 in slightly nerf where there's some small adjustments to barrier. I do genuinely believe that she's fine as she is. Obviously, I'm biased. I play the character, but I don't think she's terrorizing people nearly as badly as some of the other characters that we're going to talk about. And I do think that there are characters outside of just those top 4 who are stronger than her right now, but we'll get to those when we get to those.
Another reason I say like to slightly nerf her is because her power, like if you leave her the same and all the other top tiers just go down a little bit, she becomes so very favorable.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think there are a good handful of characters that are like that, and we'll talk about them because there's at least 4 or 5. Actually, for those of you who tuned into the video that I uploaded today, I talked about those characters a tiny little bit before I actually jumped into this live stream, so you guys get the sneak peek on my thoughts on that. But if you haven't checked that video, it'll be linked as a title card at the end of the video where you guys can check it out. I'll probably also have it in the description down below. And those of you guys out there on Twitch, you should have peeped that video as well. But yeah, we're gonna get to those. But moving on to Majin 21. I think a lot of us probably agree that she needs a slight buff, yes?
Slight buff or stay the same.
Slight buff.
Yeah, fuck that bitch, man.
Why you hating on a baddie, bro?
Save jump at her level 3 at the bare minimum.
Bro.
So no. I'm with you. I think Majin 21 is still very strong as she is, still a very viable, very, very good character. I do think it is. I do think they went too far with nerfing her level 3 where she doesn't get safe jump. Give her back safe jump, and I think she's fine.
Bro,
That's a very
I've been
slight
dealing
change,
with
but like that
for the entirety of my DBFZ.
What else is
career,
there? What else is
bro.
there to nerf about her though?
Only level 3.
They did. Only her level 3 got nerfed. Everything, other things technically got buffed.
Literally.
Yeah,
they just buffed her frame data and like nerfed the hell out of her level 3.
That's stupid that she can't even safe jump, and against some characters she literally need to guess on her own Oki. Like,
right. I think they went too far with the level 3. I think they went too far with nerfing.
They definitely went too far with the level 3, but literally nothing else about her needs to be changed.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of the character.
I was about to say that. What else is there to nerf about her?
There's nothing. Like she's
Nothing
fine.
really.
She is
like she's strong. Like obviously she's got great normals and really strong neutral and stuff. But like her level 3 was the biggest reason why most people were playing her at a competitive level, and they took that away from her. Let her still safe jump. Sure, she doesn't get the mix up anymore, which some most would like to see that come back. But
here's my argument. My argument, like, if we are going to be buffing a couple of these characters or slight buffs with level 3s saying, yeah, they can have this Oki or they can have this back, I think it's okay to give her the level 3 Oki back, especially with some of the other characters coming down, because then it's like equalized, right?
Right.
Like
I
the
also
top lose something.
I also want to say that
shit back.
as it pertains to the conversation and to where characters are placed, right? Even when it's not specified, obviously in the tier list, right? Like if we're saying this character gets this change, and it, like we can base the next change or like placement of a character based on what we've already previously said about others. Does that make sense? I feel like I did a poor job articulating that, but
it's holistic. The list is holistic.
Sure. Moving on, Bardock I think needs buffs.
Yeah, Bardock needs buffs. Yeah.
I think this is
no, buff him.
I think this is another character who was hated on for so long that he got thrown to the wayside and neutered very, very harshly, and now he was toned down to a point where he was still pretty good, but it's just the game has evolved so much and other characters have evolved so far past him that he's now needs some help. And he's still like a mid-tier character at best, which is not terrible, but I think he is a character who needs some help. Give him some mix back or something like.
Buff, realistically.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I agree.
A million years. I think if they're gonna so there's two ways they go about this. They do the universal level 3 Oki and they're like, hey, here you go, Bardock, have some shit back. Or they go full send and they're like, we're actually partying, and they give Bardock Lariat the same properties as Gogeta Lariats.
Oh, Bardock Lariat being like Key Blast Info would be crazy. Okay, but I would be mad
I would quit. I would quit. You hear me here right now? I'm quitting. I refuse to fight that.
You hear that, Bandai? Do it.
236M it's just diagonal Gogeta 236M.
That'd be insane.
Nah, bro, you're crazy for that.
So here's my take on Bardock, right? So here's my take on Bardock, right? You can do a few things to him, and let me know what y'all think, right? So I personally think they've shown to be okay with like adding what they took from him to give to other characters, right? So realistically, I think they should just buff his B assist back to where it was.
Agreed.
I don't think that thing deserved the nerf, right?
Agree.
And you either do one or two things to him on point to give him the reward he's missing to hang with the other characters, right? Or to be a reason to pick him over the other ones. You either A, just straight up give him a level 3 mix-up back, like change the positioning on the level 3 so they're closer to him, so he's allowed to enable mix-up, or give him more frame advantage, right? Or change his 236M to have either 2 or 3 frames of land recovery. So if he does use that move, he can enable mix-ups, not truly unreactable mix-ups, but mix-ups with a 9 frame low or a 10 frame low, which will be like pretty hard to deal with,
right?
Realistically. And I feel like that kind of
it would be basically Gogeta mix right now, pretty much.
Yeah, which would either Gogeta mix or slightly worse at 10 frames, which I feel like will kind of in line with how honest they kind of wanted him to be, like not truly unreactable mix-ups, but you have to really pay attention. And if he 3-ways you with that shit, you're gonna get hit. You're gonna have to hold that. But like I think that's like they need to give him some sort of mix-up back to change his reward, because I don't think his neutral is not the issue. A lot of people like to hate his neutral. I don't believe that.
No, I mean like, yeah, he gets there are definitely some unfavorable matchups for him, but I think his neutral is fine for the most part.
Yeah, I think it's just his reward, right?
Yeah,
that they took away from him.
Yeah.
So that's my take on him.
If that's the case, you could probably get an EX buff too. Obviously not to the extent of 4Gita, because that's insane, but.
I mean,
you shouldn't have to spend a bar and a half.
I was about to say, just let me get just let me get wall bounce off it so I can combo by myself without the need to spend extra resource.
I think that'd be fair.
There's a few characters, a certain sword boy we're gonna talk about later. I'm just like, bro, let me get a combo mid screen without having to spend a banish or something, and I think Gucci. But you know, that's just me. Yeah, I think we all mostly agree. Bardock definitely needs some help. Now, this next character. I know it's gonna be some strong feelings. I got some pins myself. I don't know how all of y'all in here feel, right? But no, listen. I am personally of the belief that Beerus is one of those characters who is in contention for top 5 characters in the game. And this is one of those characters who I feel like if those top 4 get gutted, he might need to be toned down a little bit. And I think in the current context of the game, as it is at this exact moment, he's fine. But because we are almost definitely sure those top 4 are going to get toned down, he might also need to get toned down just ever so slightly. Not too much. I just feel
what do you tone down on him?
That's what I want to hear. What the heck are you guys going to do to my cat?
Tone down Beerus?
Nerf the assist. That's it. Just nerf assist.
Yeah, I agree.
Yo, Beerus A is one of the most annoying,
assist,
underrated assists I've ever.
It's just as bad or good, depending on the context, as Krillin rocks. I'm just like, yo, this.
Okay, come on. Rocks are more so.
But we definitely need a discussion on Beerus A, bro, because I feel like that assist has been going under the radar for a decent amount of time now, bro.
Beerus is a very strong character. I have no issue with Beerus. I'm fine with strong characters being in the game. I think he's in a great spot right now. But if those top 4 get gutted, he gonna be a problem. But I do think the assist could still be toned down.
If you're changing the assist, put him in assist nerf, not in slightly nerf. Because otherwise, I want to hear what the heck you guys are doing to my cat. Besides that,
the only thing I would realistically nerf with him on point is maybe not have that 5H just go through assist. I'm like, that is kind of. I wouldn't be mad if he kept it because
he gonna be real mad when we get to the monster too.
But like, I'm like, I'm
more in agreement on the Zamasu than I am on the Beerus.
Like, as far as his assist nerf goes, though, like his assist shouldn't have that much hit stun. Like, brother, you have a double hitting assist. It's multi-hitting, so it already has more frame advantage than every other assist. And if I get hit by the orb, I have a heart attack too, and it's a 19 frame startup assist, and it's a combo breaker, or not a combo breaker, but it's not random, but it changes. It's not static with how it functions. It bounces
right, because the orb is bouncing off.
It should not bounce off the backboard.
It's a mix-up assist. Really?
It's pretty OD.
Like you either make it a 25 frame assist. You know, I feel like high block stun 19 frame assists are kind of ridiculous. I don't like that idea.
I would say how you high block stun and the fastest in the game.
Yeah, like come on.
All right, look, bro, that assist literally gave the 0-50-50s, and I'll be back.
Bro said his piece is like, I'm out.
That's real though.
So do something, right? Like something, but like don't gut.
Yeah, I would say I don't want to see Beerus get smacked. I have been telling people for a while that I think he's a top 5 character, and I feel like people are starting to warm up to that. I feel like a lot of times when I voice my opinions on shit, niggas be like, Lotus, you tripping? And then I'm also a YouTuber, so sometimes people try to write me off anyway. But I think we're all seeing by now, right? And I think a lot of you guys actually agree with a lot of stuff I say a lot of times. But the character's damn good. Really good.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters who are just
he's not top 5 though.
But so for me, I feel like there's a lot of characters who are all fighting for that 5th place spot. If we're all saying that fusions and lab code are like the top 4, and I think Beerus is one of those characters, and I think there's like 4 or 5 other characters who are in that conversation.
And Beerus loses the matchup to all of them,
and he very well might. But that's why this will be interesting, because I do want to have a conversation about this as we go through this. But yeah, I mean he might, but I think he's up there. I think he's very strong, like very very strong.
If we're talking about a world where the top 4 are nerfed, then sure, Beerus is definitely an argument for him to be probably one of the main characters in the top 5. But as of right now, he loses to probably almost the entirety of the current top 10.
No.
We will get to that, because like I said, there's some characters on here that we gonna talk about. We're gonna do this one at a time. And I think next DBS Broly, who I think is
that's slight buff.
I think DBS Broly is. I think he's really strong already. He's an adjustment. He's one of these characters like an old Gogeta or an old 17. I know it sounds weird. Let me explain. Where I feel like the character is already strong, and you have to be careful about what you do with him, because he will very quickly become too strong. Because obviously the main thing people always talk about with him, I feel like, is his frame data. It's like, okay, you give him these really good, like, first of all, he's already got huge normals in the first place. If you also make the frame data really good,
best normals in the game too.
Yeah, so good. And then you add on the crazy amount of damage he gets, and then the extra damage he gets, and the extra damage he gets. It's like, okay, it could very quickly get out of hand. I do agree that he could use some slight buffs, but I think for the most part he's in a good spot. And I just don't want to see things go too far with this character, because he'll very quickly become too much.
The adjustment I'd want to see on this character is they like go into the whole fantasy of him being just like an anchor character, right? Like his assists are fine. You up his frame data just a little bit, but you reduce his damage, right? Because then limit break will kick in, and you'll have that opportunity. Plus, you get the damage boost, and it makes it so it's like, all right, this is a very like I'm putting up situations kind of like how normal Z Brawly did before. I always think about how like Sage terrorized fucking Japan. You just do that, but with Super Brawly. I think
I'll never forget him pulling up to Fighting Tuesday and just wrecking people.
Fighting Tuesdays, the multiple. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, and I remember Junior was so proud about it, like, yeah, no, you Americans not coming over here, and just, oh well, until Sage pulled up.
He's interesting. Like I think like Personally, I think they want him to be a mid. I feel like the way like they kind of scream at you to play a mid, like the way he powers up on his levels. They definitely don't want him to be a point. I don't know exactly what they should do with him. The only change I always said I think would be cool is the 2Ms. I feel like for each time you let him to him in a blockchain, it should just get safer and safer to the point where like one of the last ones are plus. And if you let him do that, that's your fault. You're gonna have to hold that. Outside of that, maybe
That's a really
very
creative.
slight
That's
buff
actually
to maybe
mad interesting.
one-
Yeah, that's I was
Cool.
like, that's actually I never would have thought of some shit like that. But I feel because like you
Pretty
can
cool, actually, yeah.
because you can get out of those 2Ms. So if you let him get that off, like
Yeah.
that is on you.
There's not that much reward for kind of letting him sit there and do that outside of him just having extra normals to throw you off of, which is pretty scary. But I feel like he would incentivize you to
I
want to
really
move
like
if it
that
starts
idea.
getting safer and safer.
That
And you're
might be
like,
the
oh
most,
shit,
that might
enemy
be the most
5
reasonable
HQs.
thing you said all day, bro.
No, I think,
they hated me because I speak the truth. That's all I gotta say.
bro, no, that's actually a really dope idea.
Real talk though. Who else thinks that they're just going to buff Broly's damage again and leave it at that?
That's probably what they'll do.
They're
but-
going to give him the blue Gogeta treatment. I'm going to quit. That's what's going to happen.
But and that's exactly why I made that comparison, because I feel like he's one of those characters where it's like he's in a good spot and they're gonna tweak something and then now it's like, okay, now it's too much. Like you went too far again with a character who
I was saying that about Zamasu before they buffed him. I was like, the second they make this a good character, everyone is going to hate it.
I mean, and it's the same with Beerus as well. I feel like Beerus is another one of those characters where it's like, he's pretty good. I mean, he's definitely got some things that are bad, and he was a lot worse in the past, but another character where it's like a couple of tweaks. Now it's like, you looking like one of the strongest characters in the game.
A couple of tweaks. Every special and every normal has been buffed since the beginning of this game. It took that much because he was that ass.
Okay, but to be fair, what I'm saying about him now, I wasn't saying until like season 3. You know what I'm saying? It like obviously in the first couple of seasons, I didn't think he was anything particularly special, but that's just me.
Yeah, he was the worst in the game.
Well,
yo, Lotus, I gotta dip out, bro. But before I dip, could we just go over Nappa real quick? Because I need to
oh my god,
my piece.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's fair. That's
so
fair.
we already know for sure you're gonna have some things to say. He does have a bug, I believe, that needs to be
I only
fixed.
have one thing, and if anyone's been in my stream or spoken to me recently, you know exactly what it is. So when Nappa does 236H or 214H, that's his EX plant the Cyberman. They made it in the last patch so that if you hold down or down back, it extends the plant, and he keeps his hand in the ground like he's a fucking gardener digging in the dirt and shit, trying to plant flowers and shit, and it fucks up the recovery because there's situations where it doesn't have a lot of recovery. The move itself doesn't have a lot of recovery, so the situations where I'll plant and then try to hold down back to block a low, and my hand stays in the fucking ground, I'm sitting to look like an idiot, and then I take a whole fucking punish.
And then you lose 80% of your health bar.
Yeah, for no reason. When I could have easily blocked it, and Jerry could have saved the day for me. You know what I'm saying? So
I feel you
that's
for sure.
honestly it. Other than that, character's fine.
Yeah, I also think Nappa is very, very strong right now. Him and Majin Buu, who we'll probably talk about a bit later. There's a few characters in the game right now who I think are like specialist characters. They're underplayed right now. Obviously, they take a little bit more work, and in some cases, they need teams built around them. But Nappa's a very, very strong character, especially once he gets his game plan rolling, some of the nastiest mix in the game, legitimate resets and whatnot. He's if you don't know the Nappa matchup, you are going to get steamrolled by that character.
Yeah, let me tell you, the amount of times that I done won a match just from Cybermen hoeing somebody out their ass, bro. It's a beautiful thing.
Be careful how highly you speak of him now.
Yo, all right, chill. He needs help.
But I do think Nappa's in a pretty good spot, but that is one thing that probably should be fixed for him.
Yep. That's it. He's fine other than that. But yeah, guys, I do appreciate the talk. Much love to everybody in here. Appreciate you guys. Much love.
And thank you for coming through, man. I actually didn't mention it, but part of the reason why this is even happening, he may not have been the first person that I saw do it. I mean, the first person that did it, but he's the first person I saw do it. When Cali,
I was the first.
You might have been. I don't know.
It's me.
Yeah. So when Cali Mac posted his list like this of characters I need changes, it's what gave me the idea to get everyone together and then have this conversation and have this stream and do all this. So he's a big reason why this is happening, because I got the inspiration from him, and that's why I had to have him here. So appreciate you for coming through, bro. Hopefully you have a good night, and I'll see you when I see you.
Much love, brother. You guys already know. Take care, man.
Easy.
All right, later, dude.
All right. So next, Z Broly. How we feeling?
Stays the same.
Y'all think
honestly.
Z Broly's
Kill him.
No, I think it stays the same because if we
Z Broly.
Z Broly,
I got some things on him.
What?
Buff him.
What?
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
I go
Give him the key blast back. Give him the key blast.
I wouldn't mind either.
Do not give him the key blast back. Give him his normals back, but don't give him his key blast back.
So here's my reasoning, right? Let me know if y'all can like vibe with this, right? In a game where zoning isn't even rewarded that much because there's no chip damage, right? That's fine. That's just the way they wanted it. His zoning existed, and then they added a lot of different things to the game to also counteract his zoning. Like, I won't say a system mechanic change, but an idea of like, oh, we want a lot of things to start going through key blasts and stuff, right? Like, they changed a lot. A lot of new characters got added. Existing characters got that addition, so that made him even weaker, right? Then Labco came out, and the idea of a debuff kind of really hurt any character who relies on a command grab to for damage because it directly skews their risk reward, right? And that hurt him. Them homogenizing movement to make zoning even worse hurt him, and they looked at him and was just like, "Nah, I still think it's too good. Get rid of it."
That's another one of those
really?
things where they nerf the character after making a change to the game that would have indirectly nerfed it anyway. Like we were saying earlier about GT Goku A assist, where they gave everyone the ability to float around the assist anyway after nerfing it. And that's just
So what was the point? Realistically, what did that actually do? Outside of the people who generally just hated playing him because they hated the way he functioned.
And I say this as the biggest
Broly.
I say this as the biggest Z Broly hater of all time. I fucking hate this character. Him and Vegeta, with all my heart, I hate both those characters. But I'm not opposed to him getting slight buffs and them walking back slightly some of the changes he had. Plus, characters have like eclipsed him anyway, so
yeah, like why nerf him that way and then put Janemba in the game the way he is? Not saying Janemba's too strong. Again, I like when characters are strong, but what was the purpose?
He is the new Z Broly.
But he is, yeah.
Like even up to Janemba's like mediums being safe, like you took it away from Broly for what reason? Like his tomb's not safe because of what?
No, Janemba's got some of the best normals and staggers in the game.
5L, 2L, a 6-frame looping 0 and block what? 4 times before he's out of space of it with a with a -5 5M and a jailing 5H where Broly still, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, what was the point? Realistically, I didn't see the purpose of it. Like, so I'm gonna be honest.
You know, the point,
I think they should just revert Broly back to how he was completely.
The point is Janemba has a sword and Z Broly's ugly, and that's why.
He's the legendary Super Saiyan.
And I don't give a fuck.
His power
He's like
is
really
maximum.
legendary though. Like, let him cook, bro.
Like, do you understand the requirement of being the legendary Super Saiyan, Lotus?
To be ugly is all sin?
No, you have to be him. That is the requirement. Imagine that.
I'm just bullshitting. But yeah, no, I do think that they could walk back some of those changes and it would still be fine. I mean, because the thing is, the things that made him strong in the game before is just not the way the game is now. So
I'll agree on the normals, but I do not want those key blasts reverted.
You play Beerus, of course you know. Your entire team, except for Lapco,
again, even ignoring Beerus, those key blasts were an issue to get in for basically everyone who didn't have a full screen anti-key blast attack.
No, you walk him down. You're not getting zoned out. Wait, moon jump at him. It has a dead zone.
Yeah, you have to moon jump long before he even starts firing in order to get that high.
You have to buffer it as he's stopping. If you buffer it as he's stopping, he can't catch you even if he does the up one.
It's also way easier now than ever before.
And it's much easier now.
Then you'll just get thrown.
Yeah, but that was a read. It means he knew you were going to jump.
That's
the strength.
Zane feels a lot stronger about this character than I.
Zane hates Z Broly. Zane literally hates Z Broly.
Listen, I use him as my training dummy every single time. Him and Vegeta are my 2 training dummies. Every time I get in training mode, I feel you. Trust me, I do. Since day 1 of both of their release, I've fucking hated both these characters.
No, but I feel like it was extremely unfair for him. Like, really unfair.
Yeah.
Like,
I think he's not, because again, when characters get nerfed, people try to pretend like they're bottom 5 all of a sudden if they're no longer the number 1. And you do hate to see a character get gutted. You could slightly buff him in to be okay. Moving on, Ginyu mostly stay the same in my opinion.
Stay the same.
I don't know about you guys, but Ginyu is another one of those characters, kind of like Nappa, I guess, where once he gets his game plan rolling, he can very quickly snowball you. Obviously, he plays a mean game at keep away and just doing Ginyu calls, and he does ridiculous damage. I feel like his combos just keep getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And yeah, he's not the craziest mix-up character. He doesn't have these full-screen, medium-scaled EX lariats that go through projectiles and everything, but I think he's for the most part a pretty solid character. Obviously,
this is me being a little salty. I just wish his spin wasn't key blast involved, because like, why?
He does have the he does have the truest darkness in the game with body swap. By the way, I'm so glad that Goichi and Sonic both realized the evil of their ways and did not actually take those characters to regionals way back when.
I came back at the perfect time because I'm going to tell you all Garlic Bread's new strategy, and he's a fucking dickhead. All right? This 15-year-old kid deserved to not compete for what he was doing to people. He has been entering tournaments.
No way.
Entering tournaments. I shit you not. His game plan. His game plan compiles entirely of this. He says, wow, that's a really nice $5 you spent on that lab coat or that fusion. And he makes sure that he kills one of your characters, takes that other character, and then lames you out and throws sensu beans at you to keep you healthy for 300 Dragon Ball seconds. And that's his strategy. He doesn't try to
That's
get
on his Goku shit.
Yo,
he tosses you a beat.
He kills two characters. He takes your third character, throws sensu beans non-stop, and will wait anywhere from 10 seconds to the full 300 seconds until either you leave the game or time runs out. That is his entire strategy.
That is wild.
You see, he's gonna fuck around and find out one day.
That is wild.
He's gonna spike.
Dude, I watched Dadpool, one of the OG SoCal Dragon Ball players. He started doing it. Garlic started doing it. Dadpool immediately PS button restarted the game. Like he's like, all right, next. Like he just said,
the game. No, he didn't do it once. He did it twice.
I would say,
He did it for the 2-0.
Can he be blamed?
This character can stay the same, but like, fuck this character. This character is.
Oh no, I feel you. I don't like Ginyu either. I think
everyone feels
I think he is the truest darkness in this game. I think he is the hidden evil of Dragon Ball Fighters. This character is.
I don't think it's hidden.
Oh well, I'd be very curious to hear what you have to say on that. But yeah, I think Ginyu's very strong. I think he's perfectly fine as is. I don't really think he needs many changes one way or the other.
I want everyone to revise this after Bums with Garlic playing his new team. That's what I want to say. That is my last footnote.
Is he going to be at Bums?
Yes, he is.
Birthday bash?
BBB.
I bet.
Yep. And his team is Super Baby 2, Ginyu, and fucking what else was it? I can't remember.
Krillin.
Fuck that team. That team can suck a dick.
All right, moving on. So I think Cell's another character.
Honestly, that might be a hot take, but I think it should stay the same because he's like as Broly. If you nerf him a bit, just a bit, he's going to be like way too good. And he's like, I've played Shanks a lot, and he's like one of the only character I think that from level 3 50-50, that's literally a real guess that you're literally guessing for your life. He kills you no matter what. Like if he vanish or if he use assist or whatever, you're dying.
I think he should get a slight buff.
The only thing I will say for Cell that should get a slight buff are his assists.
Yeah, but okay, for the assist I agree. But the thing is, are we talking if the game stays the same? Because if we slight buff him and the top 4 got nerfed, he's literally going to go top 10 or something like that.
Is that wait? But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like I think that's fine.
Really sell Max.
He's not one of the characters that I think is going to terrorize the game if the top 4 get gutted. I think there's a few characters ahead of him.
I don't know about that because the level 3 is really like if you abuse it from your game plan like Shanks, it's OG. Like really,
it's strong,
really good.
but it requires a lot of resources in being in the corner to like.
Really yes, but not that much because we're talking about DBFZ. While literally now you can do whatever into the special tag into Rolling Crush, and that literally build 1 bar or 1.5 or something like that.
So the only buff I'd actually give Cell is make his perfect attack H priority. I don't think it should be clashing with air special moves.
I agree on that.
Defeats the point of it. Outside of that, I think he's fine. I feel like he has a very clear intentional issue, and he's supposed to struggle in Nitro due to how strong his pressure, damage, and mix-up is.
Right.
Like he's one of the very only characters who can true string 50-50 on a block string with almost every assist. And then if you guess wrong on that, immediately level 3 50-50 you to make you.
I think he is genuinely a very balanced character. Like I think he's strong, but he's not egregious in any way, in my opinion. Cooler. I think Cooler. So
buff him.
Yeah, I think Cooler needs maybe just straight up buffs, but I also do think that they're probably going to take away that J2H thing he has.
I don't know about that.
Keep it. Fuck it.
Yeah, you can keep it. For me,
I mean, I'm not mad at it. I'm just throwing that out there as like I think they'll probably take it from him.
I got a question for y'all, real quick. What do you think of level 3 command grabs being true to how command grab supers just work in fighting games? If you don't jump it, pull pre-flash, you get grabbed.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Like for Cooler, he can keep it. If it was someone
I play Trunks, so go ahead.
Wait, so you want him to like on some lab coat command grab shit, like he will just snatch you in the middle of a block string?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's got invincibility, and if anybody's matching level 3 anyway, you're gonna get hit, right?
Is his shit unreactable?
The one thing I'll say in terms of Cooler specifically is that you have to keep him where he can't grab you when he's crouching, because he can grab you out of the air too. Because otherwise, it doesn't matter if you jump or do whatever, you're just getting grabbed.
I
So
think he
wait,
should grab.
you
crouching
meant like
control.
aggressively Cloud? Like he'll do like button, just snatch you with the super? Like you
What
meant
I'm
like that?
saying, so let's say you put a delay in your string, right? You try to stagger cooler, and then he just level
Oh.
3s you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that yeah, it's a counter. I like that. I thought you meant like his block string. He just does that shit.
No,
They jump
no,
in
not
before
in the
flash is
block
over for
string.
you.
No.
That's what
As,
like, damn.
as a defensive mechanic, or like,
Oh,
Well, you can't
it-
you can't do it that
not
way
just-
anyway, right? Because the command grab only comes
Yeah.
out in the air, right?
You can crouch it, but
yeah.
they should make it that you can't.
I
It's literally a level
yeah.
3. It's literally a level 3, and it's only blue life.
I personally believe the only changes Cooler should realistically receive is change his OTG so it's more consistent at higher scalings. I don't want to
No.
say just give it fixed scaling like lab code because I think that shit's kind of ridiculous, but make it to where he can use it a little bit more because right now like he can't even do like an assist route
Mhm.
and then do OTG into another. It's gonna drop. It's
Okay.
pretty ugly.
On
No,
the
to
topic
me-
of hold on real quick. On the topic and conversation of OTGs, I'm of the mindset that OTGs are sick and I want to see more characters get them and I want to see the characters that already have them be a bit better. I know there's a big topic of conversation. I don't want to dive into it just yet. I know people talk a lot about Labcoat's OTG. I think OTGs are really cool, but moving on. Go ahead, but you was going to say Kasuga?
I think it's cool too, but just fix hit stun is crazy. And the only other
me-
change I would give him is like let him OTG after EX dive kick. Give him a reward for DR crushing you, and he's chilling.
So
And
yeah,
tur-
for,
and tur- sorry,
Oh,
go,
let
yeah, go ahead.
Kasuga?
I was trying to say to me for Cooler, and that was something we used to talk a lot with Kaiden when he was playing the character. The EX dive kick should be definitely not twitchable. Like at least give him that. Like Goku SAJ or Trunks, you should not be able to edge that move every time. So at least it will make his pressure better. And what you guys said before too. And the character will be definitely better just with that.
I think if you give him combos off the dive kick, it has to be twitchable. That would be really
No, but that's the thing.
stupid.
He can't combo from dive kick. Like he can literally level 1 or level 3.
You know, I
And-
think it would benefit him more to give him the combos, but leave it twitchable. But I mean,
Same.
they both can do the same.
Yeah,
purpose,
but the thing
I guess.
is, he steals his pressure literally because right now he's staggering you, and the main mind game is from DR or EX Flash at high level. I mean, and literally that lose to mashing 2H. It should not be a
6M
thing.
and I feel like 6M in his low stops that. That's the point of his low, having a noticeable gap like that. Like he's actually able to hide where he's putting them pretty well because of the system mechanics in the low, though. I think that's how he works. I know what you're saying, like supposed to just tech his DRs with 2H, but like he can like hide it pretty well. I feel like right now. I feel like his issue just lies that his reward for successfully conditioning you doesn't match his risk, right? So like you said, like either making it un-2Hable, which would fix that, right? Because less risk using that move, he can kind of just like use it just to annoy you and pressure. But like I would much rather see him being able to combo off it to actually make him a little scary in a block.
I also just feel like from like a design and aesthetic standpoint, it's kind of weird to have a character jump up to the top of the screen and do this dive kick and it not be 2Hable. It's different when it's like when they made like 17 Rekka not 2Hable anymore, right? But when the character's jumping out, it's like, nigga, I should be able to anti.
He pulling up from deep. Like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, nah, son, you gotta hold this anti.
He's definitely pulling up on me from the top rope. Let me 2H.
Right then, Frieza. I think we can all agree Frieza's another character that needs buffs. He's a character that, for one, I think he has probably the worst assists in the game. So I think those need to be changed. I don't even blame the majority of Frieza players I come across for running his C assists because it's probably the best out of the three, which is really sad to say.
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, and then just him as a character. I mean, like they want him to be a zoner in a game where zoning wasn't that strong, and I feel like it's even weaker now. And they've given him things like, you know, making his JS beat Super Dash and stuff like that. Obviously, they buffed his normals. They've gone back and buffed Golden Frieza a few times as well. But it just still feels like it's not enough. Like he's not a character that like I ever feel particularly threatened by. And it's not to say that I can't ever lose to the character, but like he just doesn't strike me as like very threatening, even still with all the changes that he's gotten over time.
Well, that's always been my main issue when it comes to basically them buffing Frieza, basically since the beginning of time, up until the most recent patch where they actually buffed some of his zoning capabilities. All they've been doing is buffing his rushdown, buffing Golden Frieza, making him have a full screen 5M, doing everything that helps him get in when he's literally made to be a zoner.
Yeah, like
his
giving
zoning's kind of like already ridiculous.
like giving him that full screen
Going up.
5M though is like, but that defeats the point of the character. But like I get it because that was like something they were doing across the board. But it's like you're helping him get in. He's a character who wants to stay away. And yes, his zoning is strong for sure, way stronger than it was in the past. But
they gave him like whiff cancels on his anti-air and shit too. Like that was a huge buff to his zoning.
which is
Like he's whiff canceling an anti-air key blast.
which is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, but
His key blast is faster than anyone's in the game, right? They also pierce, so that's already huge quality.
That's what I mean. They recently buffed all the zoning, which is a good step in the right direction. But I think they need to do more of that. Is what I'm saying. Because all they've been doing is buffing his ability to go in, use Golden Frieza to go in, try and mix people off, things like that. Giving him the extra dash and all this other stuff.
And if nothing else, they absolutely need to buff his
zoning.
assist. If nothing else.
So
They definitely
I'm
need to buff
obviously not a Frieza player, but from my conversations with other Frieza mains and from what my knowledge about him is, I personally think he's actually fine on point. He doesn't even need to change on point anymore. It's actually just a support value. Like I actually think Frieza is another one of those characters where if you're not too careful and you change the top tiers and you buff him, he will become one of the next top tiers because like
Yeah, I agree.
he actually has some ridiculous things about him on point. Like Golden Frieza is ridiculous. He's fuzzing you by himself. Like he has some of the most craziest zone. He has one of the best EX moves in the entire game. EX Slash is ridiculous. It's just one move. The entire screen is cleared. Your assists are gone.
You know what's weird?
Combos.
Now that I think about
like,
it,
it's a support.
obviously I'm someone who plays online more than I play in tournament, and I've played in tournaments, but the majority of my Frieza experience comes from online. I don't know if I've ever played. I played a Frieza offline once ever. I think at Combo Breaker or Frosty, but majority of Frieza players I fight don't play him on point. I feel like now I think about it, and they absolutely should.
Yeah, he's broken on point.
He's a hell of a lot better.
He has really good tools on point. Like really strong tools that are kind of point tools, right? Like piercing key blast, screen clearing EX moves,
and also just the fact that his assist sucks so much. It's like I should probably play this character on point.
Yeah, so like realistically, I feel like they should change his assists. Like I think he's completely fine on point. I think buffing him on point will actually break him completely, in my opinion. Like depending on what you do to him.
We could go ahead and just put him in slightly because I do think his assists are terrible, and that is
he needs help with the assist though.
Change.
He needs a lot of help.
Anyone else have any opinions on Frieza?
No.
All right. Well,
we
see who's next. We already know where this dude's going.
Yeah.
To the Nerfs.
So here's the thing. There's like 17 different things you could change about him. I feel like maybe giving him more landing recovery on 2H so he don't get mixed off. That would be a good one for him. Let him keep his mix off of some of the other things. The 2H is kind of OD though.
I'd rather just say do the line of UI where after 2Hs you can't dash in the air as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Or that, yeah.
I agree too.
How you nerf the 2H to me personally doesn't matter, but I do feel like it is something that could be nerfed so he doesn't get mixed from 2H.
He just needs to not 50-50 off the damn thing. That's
He can get his mix off the record.
So that's the thing too. Like he has other ways of getting mixed. Like
yeah, I just don't want to be 2H halfway up the screen because the reach is that high into an assist call into 50-50 with almost nothing they could do about it.
Right. it's kind of ridiculous.
I personally
if it goes halfway up the screen, that's the issue.
So I talk about him on stream a lot, obviously because I main him. I try not to be biased, right? But from like me trying to make the game healthy, trying to like be unbiased as possible. The way I actually think about this is the way you go about nerfing him is I don't think Blue Gogeta is necessarily that big of an issue. He is an issue. He does have things that don't make sense, like having air actions after a 2H. That's something they had in the game before. They realized they did not like it, and they took it away from everyone. So I feel like
he's
him
DLC though, so then you know what I'm saying they gotta.
Yeah, I feel like him having it realistically is an oversight, but I don't know. But regardless of which, he should lose it, right? I think he should also be made a 7-frame character.
Agreed.
I don't think you should actually change how his 5 works. I don't think it should be a 6-frame.
I would say like you can keep everything else about it literally the exact same, but if it's 7 frames, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, right. But like my take on him actually is that he's not the issue. Like him in a vacuum, he's actually not that bad. He makes a lot of sense. The issue is him combined with Vegeta.
Well, so that's the thing is that
he's not the issue. It's him
top tiers
with the
top tiers synergize
like,
so well with each other, and then it's like when you play Gogeta and Vegeta together, they're just perfect, and it makes Gogeta that much better.
Yeah, so like realistically, the pressure a lot of people feel about the character is by design. He's kind of like pretty similar to Cell in the sense that his pressure, or not really his pressure, his mix-up and damage output is like outrageous, right? But in return, he's supposed to not really have that good of pressure, and his neutral is supposed to be very committal. Not bad because the things he does is strong, but just very punishable if he's wrong, right? He can't safely check different options. He has to kind of like commit to it if he wants to check it. But like with Vegito, it completely breaks all of that. Like he gets even more damage. His neutral becomes some of the best in the game. His pressure becomes some of the best in the game. It like really breaks him. I had this conversation with a lot of players at a battle hour too. Like I was talking to Kane and them, and he was just like, he also agrees that like Blue Gogeta does need to see some nerfs like the 2H and the 5L, but like outside of that, I know a lot of people ask for a lot more buffs to him. And I'm like, if you do that, but you're also gonna take Vegeta on the same patch, he's gonna become like not a bad character, but considerably worse, like more so than what people actually think. Like when you see this character played without the help of like Vegito or 17 assists, you don't really see him that much. You actually never see him. The times you do, he doesn't feel nearly as overwhelming as he does with like the other support, right? So I think like he shouldn't be nerfed as much as people think he should. Vegito needs to go, and he needs to see some slight tweaks, and then I think he makes more sense.
Also, for me, they need to nerf his air assist, not kill it or whatever, but just the situation where I hit you and he still like smoke me for hitting
when you trade
he
and you
appears
still get the
behind.
wall bounce.
Yes,
That's kind of stupid.
and that needs to go.
I mean, how would you program that though? That kind of makes sense for a wall bouncing assist, right? If you trade with it, that means it hits you too, right? So how?
No, as in he doesn't want a situation where you hit the assist, but then the assist also hits you.
Yes,
yeah, like you trade. You meant like when they call it, or like as he's already flying and you try to trade with him. Well, which one? What situation do you mean? Like, do you know what happened to Yasha against Goichi at UFA? Like that situation, where like the assist, like like him being called defensively, and like you talk about that one, like when like you're trying to punch him.
When you call him defensively, I still hit him, but I still like I eat trade. Like I got smoke for hitting Gogeta.
I'll say that should not be a defensive assist.
Yeah, he's not a defensive assist. He actually spawns at the normal assist position, but like he does a slight reel back before.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's why
you shouldn't get the benefit of a defensive assist with the way that it works. You know what I'm saying?
You shouldn't. Maybe have him spawn a little bit more forward. I do think like if he's already out and like he's transversing the screen, if you come in contact with him and you trade and they wall bounce you, that's your fault. You try to trade with a wall bouncing assist. You're gonna have to hold that.
At least make it hard to confirm or something like that. If you keep it the same, make it hard to confirm, because right now it literally go back to you. It does the same as base Goku, like it go back to you while you can call him defensively. That's not a.
All wall bouncing assists function like that though. That's not just unique to him. Like if you trade with a wall bouncing assist, that's what's gonna. It makes sense though, right? Like it's a wall. If it hits you, it wall bounces. So if you trade, like both of your hitboxes came in contact with each other, hurt boxes, so you're gonna get wall bounced, right? Like that's just. I don't even know how they can fix that. That's just how
it's so
games
hard.
Are.
It's weird.
Yeah,
it's
that's one of those things where like I don't think you can. Like they would have to maybe give the wall bounce property not frame 1, but then that'd be very weird. So it hits you and then it wall bounces you like a few frames after it hits you would be the only way I can see that. But that'd be very weird.
Yeah, I think we are in agreement that the character definitely needs to be toned down. I'm.
Oh wait, Inzem, have you talked about the situation where you reflect the JM, but he still stay in front of you, like he doesn't go, like when you reflect some character who doesn't have a multi-hit JM or 5L, they go far. Like
I think that's actually fine. Funny enough, that's fine.
The thing is,
only because it makes
both his JM and 5L both auto just not even 5L just auto beats reflect on their own.
Yes,
his
fine.
5LL.
It shouldn't be like that for him. Like
his 5L doesn't beat reflect. The reason that's happening is because you're going through most of your reflect frames on his JM because it's multi-hitting, right? And because he's multi-hitting, he's not getting pushed back yet.
Speaking of his JM, that reminds me. How do we feel about every hit of his JM being overhead? Should it just be the first one like Go Tanks, or is it fine as it is?
Yeah, no, it should be the first one like Go Tanks to me.
I feel like it should be like Go Tanks JL.
We talked about this yesterday, right, Lotus?
Yeah, you and I did, but I want to hear everyone else's input on it. If anyone has any input on it.
Nah, I think it should be like Go Tanks.
Yeah,
if they took it away from Go Tanks, they should take away from him.
I mean, I agree. That's how I feel.
So I mentioned this to Lotus yesterday. They actually addressed that. Whether or not y'all agree with how they addressed it, whatever, but like they actually are aware of that, and they made changes to the game to not let that happen. So the reason they gave that to Gotenks or took it away from Gotenks is because he has a 2LO, and it enabled him to do empty jumps with it, which would be completely unfair, right? Like he just IDs at you and he does triple overhead versus empty jump low. That's impossible, right? They didn't take it away from Blue Gogeta only because he can't empty jump. They actually nerfed him in the recent patch, nerfed him quote unquote, because they gave his JL more active frames. They did that so he actually can't do IED JL anymore. It will always hit. Like he can't whiff it no more. And they did that because they didn't want him to do multiple overheads into low. Like other characters are like that, by the way. TN's his JL is multi-hitting, but the second hits aren't overheads because he actually has a 2 low. like a 7-frame low. Like they, whether or not y'all like the way they addressed that, but they actually made sure that you can't do the truly cheap shit, the thing they didn't want people to do. With
Nah.
you actually can't do it.
I still feel you. I still feel like it's kind of OD.
No,
no. If you want to take it away, fine. But I'm saying like they actually know that.
No,
like, that is something they're unaware
even with
of.
your quote unquote rule that you just said, Piccolo still has it, and he has a 2L. So,
Yeah, Piccolo does have it.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you spitting actually.
Piccolo.
Yeah, but he can't. It's not on the same normal, is what I'm saying. Like other characters have multi-hitting JMs, right? Like you have Bardock, you have Kefla. They just don't want the like to be able to whiff it and also go low. Like on
What do you
like
mean? You could do JM like and then just whiff into 2L.
Yeah.
No, I meant like empty jump whiff, like no overhead, just whiff go low. Like I think that's what they wanted to avoid, and because they took it away from Gotenks. Tien doesn't have it. Gogeta, the change they gave him the 2L, but they also increased his JL so that he can't do it. I was like, when I seen that, I was like, okay, so it's pretty blatant what they don't want to exist. Like I feel like characters like maybe it's 3 hitting normals they want to do it too, but like at least I assume based off those changes that's what they were trying to avoid. Because like I was trying to figure out why they would do that to Blue Gogeta's JL, and I'm like that did nothing for him but hurt him. But I'm like, wait, that was the point. Like they wanted to not let him do that.
Yeah,
So-
I just think he should always. If I'm reflecting, you should definitely get pushed back because that's the whole mechanic is to push
I mean,
you back.
would you use that argument with Kid Buu then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
he shouldn't be able to anti-reflect off his overhead either?
I mean,
I feel like that's the point.
I mean, his goes forward. His is a little different.
I would say his is
Yeah,
an
it's
advancing normal though.
Yeah. His literally goes forward. Gogeta does not keep like he doesn't have a 2-part. And also, sometimes when you do reflect Kid Buu JM, you're able to 2-H him. Gogeta, if I reflect your JM, I can't do anything. I'm just stuck.
I mean, it's not all the time either. Like if he does a JM and he does all 3 hits of the JM, it doesn't work like that. He gets reflected off. The only time where his JM anti-reflects into his 5L is the last hit of JM into 5L, which is usually off Rekka mix with Vegito, right? That situation actually isn't as common as you think. It's because you always see him with Vegito. Like it's
Yeah.
like the timing of how the reflects line up, and when the reflect frames ends, his second hit will just anti-reflect. Like, but it only does it with the last hit of JM into 5L.
His 5 also doesn't push back too, which is kind of funny to me.
On reflect,
Yeah,
it does.
not always. If you do it instantly, like if you hit the like the 1-part overhead into 5L, it does not push back.
Yeah, the first hit of JM into 5L, right?
Yeah, that part does not push
Yeah,
back.
yeah, that's what I just said. The only time his overhead anti-reflex is that situation, is what I was saying.
But that's the best part to have it, because that's when you get your 50-50. Like, what?
No, it only happens with Vegito assists.
Okay, I definitely seen it with 17, but okay.
Then that means I don't see how you saw that with the Rekka mix. That usually doesn't happen.
Well,
Because if you reflected him, he would reflect the Rekka, not... Never mind, whatever.
regardless,
Yeah, let's move on.
Regardless of Gogeta's
I
getting
would say
nerfed.
Gogeta's getting nerfed one way or another, and yeah, I don't. They might, bro. I don't know.
I don't even see how they would...
I think this
buff him,
next
man,
character
because-
is very interesting.
I want to hear Cloud on that. one.
So let me say my piece, and then y'all go ahead, right? So I am of the mindset, and I've been holding off on saying this, that there's a case that Adult Gohan is actually secretly, but not so secretly, the best character in the game. I think level 7 is that good. I understand you kind of have to work toward it, right? It costs resource and everything. Well, you know, it's not nearly as hard as it used to be. But check me out. You know what I'm saying? I think level 7 Adult Gohan is the best character in the game. That's how I feel.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And well, it didn't sound like everybody in here agreed on that earlier based on some things I was hearing.
That's just Cloud.
I don't agree, dude.
Oh.
I don't agree.
So I'm okay, but even if you don't agree with that, I am of the mindset that Gohan is one of those characters where if those top 4 get gutted, he got to come down a little bit. Not a lot, just a little.
I can kind of agree with that sentiment. Yeah, sure. I mean, are you still saying your piece? You got anything else?
No, that's it. You can go ahead, go in.
Oh,
What they should nerf to me, I can add something.
Okay, go on.
They need to nerf the 2S. Like
2S is a DP. 2S is a fucking DP, bro.
like that 2S need to go. Like literally when I'm playing Wawa or Nitro, whatever, and I'm pressing them and I can hear them or see them mashing 2S, but I can't do that much.
2S is a fucking DP, bro.
It's the fact that he has a DP and 2S. So if you're looking for one, the next one's gonna come.
That's what I'm saying. I think
that's the only part that kind of
It's
gets me a
also
little
plus on
salty.
block. So like,
I think Gohan's one of those characters who's like in that top 5 conversation, and if you ask me, I think he's arguably the best character in the game because of level 7. So
there is an argument to be made. That's kind of like the Phoenix
at level
argument, right?
7, yes. Before level 7, no, and that's why I think he's not the best character overall. At level 7, yes.
that's fair. He's still very strong though, even without the level 7.
Isn't that worth
I
it?
mean, sure, he's
Like,
strong
level
at
7 is
level
less
7
than
when he
one,
makes you block, or when you put him in a block string. But why are you, as a top 4 character who has far superior neutral, giving him his win condition of going in?
bro, wait.
Well, but
His neutral is good.
Wait. Do we not discount that he has legs that have the full ability to have movement out of them? And then he also jails you to the ground and it's plus on block?
Well,
He has,
look,
like,
just because
the
you're
best
not good at
key blast
the
angle in
matchup, just
Dragon
because
Ball,
you got
too.
2H L legs at the back fist, Pred, does not mean legs is that crazy and neutral, okay? Listen, go. I can't take you serious when I saw your Frosty
Wait,
Foster's
wait,
performance
wait,
against
I
Adult
got-
Gohan.
Bro, I got hit one time off of not jumping forward one time. 'cause
Twice.
I play Nitro all the time. Of course, I'm not gonna always jump forward.
Why would you jump forward? Why do you not hold the super jump macro? He does 2H whatever L
No,
legs.
I did not get hit by that.
Wait, are you talking about level 7 when he's just looping DP legs?
No, I'm not even talking about EX legs. I'm talking about like
No, light legs, right? DP light
Yeah.
legs. So the issue is he can check
talking about
that
DP
jump.
light legs.
So you have to be careful because if he back fist your shit,
hey,
and gets
now wait a
COD,
minute. I ain't gonna hold you.
Back fist
I ain't gonna
to
hold
EX
you.
legs.
Someone in my chat just made a great point. Cloud is also one of the toppest of tier down players because Cloud one of them niggas who every single patch since season 1 swore Kid Buu was dead, and that nigga was not dead till Lab Coat came through. So I'm hearing you out, but I'm taking your opinion with a grain of salt because niggas swore Kid Buu was dead every patch, and every patch he was top 5 until Lab Coat came out. I don't want to hear it.
Nah, Kid Buu went down the gutter with season 3.
Season 3
Season 3 is cap. That's cap.
Wait, was it? Wait.
What,
Was he or was he not in,
I
like,
give you
2 of
Kid
the
Buu's not
national
good
grand
now,
finals?
but like
He got power crept in season 3.
By whom? Who was doing his job?
he was
better?
still good.
That's what-
Niggas was still winning
power
with Kid
crept,
Buu.
Power crept implies that someone
he
is
was-
doing his job better than him. So who in the hell?
Nitro and Pred was
Kid
still
Buu
smoking
better
everybody
than
with Kid Buu.
21, easy.
Okay, 21 was better Kid Buu, big deal. He was still top 5 or at least bare minimum top 10.
Wait, how was Majin 21 doing Kid Buu's job? Hello?
The entire screen control, right?
Nah,
That's not Kid Buu's job. His job is to mix the fuck out of you.
Okay, then base Vegeta. There you go.
Okay,
Not the
and
fair,
he
but-
didn't have it as easy as Kid Buu still.
Oh my god, what do you mean he has better neutral? First of all, we're not even talking about Kid Buu right now. We're talking about fucking Gohan.
I know. He's trying to downplay Kid Buu again.
All right,
Look
well,
at him down
let's
the
we can get to Kid Buu when we get to Kid Buu. Let's bring it back to Gohan.
I think he should be slightly nerfed.
Yeah, I think Gohan is in a good spot. I do think he's very strong. I think at level 7 he's the best character. And like I said, he's one of those characters where depending on what happens to that top 4, he probably needs to come down just a tiny little bit as well, because otherwise then he terrorizes the game.
I mean,
The funny
didn't
thing
get
is
to
about
say
Kid
that.
Buu is
I feel
like
Light DP, by the way.
I'm sorry.
No recovery.
Go ahead, Cloud.
Yeah.
I want to hear what Cloud has to say.
But my entire whole argument is just that even at level 7, Gohan's neutral is still very lackluster, right? It's
I disagree because of 2S, but
yes.
you mean JS or 2S?
Both.
Or-
Both.
both.
I mean, you gotta think. He also has a half-screen lariat that is just invincible. Like his DP turns into a lariat once he's at 7.
his DP does
Like
go
it's just a
crazy
half-screen
far.
lariat. Like it's like Red Gogeta, but just tiers better now because like it just doesn't go through projectiles. It goes through everything. Like you cannot challenge it. Like half screen. If he starts using it as a DP, like straight up.
Wait,
So like, or sorry, as a lariat. Sorry. So like, I don't think his neutral's bad at all at 7. I think it's
So you're-
very stupid.
You're consciously aware, right, that being on the ground is very dangerous against Gohan, right? Like you know you're not supposed to be on the ground against him because he's gonna DP you, right? But yet you still do it, right?
I can't stay in
So
the air
you want me to
forever.
you want me to stay in the air with a character who has legs?
Okay, so you're saying his entire neutral is DP and legs. If you know that and you're aware of it,
Bro,
why are you still
DP,
why are you putting
stops you
yourself
from
in
being on
a
the ground.
Yeah, no, JS and DP completely stops you from being on the ground. Like that's the point of those two moves. Like you don't want to be on the ground near him because of DP, and you definitely don't want to be on the ground full screen because of JS because he's going to keep sniping your assist and shit. It's going to be hard to move. Eventually, you might fuck around and get your forward momentum caught or jump frame caught, and you definitely don't want to do that.
You're saying when he's full screen, he JS's you, right?
Yeah, just keep shooting JS.
And it snipes your assist, right? So why are you, as a top 8 player in the world, right? Because finals just happened, not dash blocking and calling your assist? Kind of sounds like a skill issue to me.
Because if you attempt to dash block from neutral, you will never get a frame 1. That is a very impossible input to do. A frame 1 dash block from the neutral position.
And he's in the air, and it's.
I know, but even every top player from every version of this game has been in that situation. A lot of characters just shoot JS at that angle, right? You have SSJ Vegeta, Teen Gohan, Lab Coat, anyone. You're mean to tell me you've never seen one player? Every player who has played this game has tried to move forward at like the perfectly timed time spot, or like jumped at the wrong time and just got sniped. Like they usually stop it because they know they're not supposed to do it, so they'll sit there for a very long time. But it can just happen. Like, and if it happens, his reward for doing it is very high. So like, yes, I understand you can just wait. But in a perfect world, especially with that much time on the clock, usually almost everyone eventually fucks up. You can look at any VOD of any player of any season in that situation, and they usually get hit eventually. It just happens sometimes.
Okay.
Like, just because you can wait doesn't mean it's bad, is all I'm saying. Like, it can happen. Like, you can get your shit clipped.
Okay, but my response to that is, what is a frame 1 option? Reflect.
Yeah, you can sit there and try. You can sit there and try to reflect it, but what if he starts scaring you with his movement? What if he does moon jump
back you? That's
I know, but what about the situation where he does moon jump forward, and obviously you're gonna have to react to that movement some way because you don't want him to get in that position. So what if people do? They either backdash, jump back L is a really common one, dash forward, whatever the case may be. Those are very common responses from anyone at the high level play, and then he baits your movement. Like,
I feel like your perception is skewed between high level and robotic level of play. In these situations.
At high level of play, when somebody jumps at you, those are usually all the responses any player will choose.
But you're under the influence that the Gohan player is going to make the right option every single time and not fuck up. You're not considering human error here.
I'm about to say that's like the human error is actually you assuming the defensive player can input frame 1 options like dash block perfectly every time. Somebody doing a moon jump forward and just pressing one button is very common. Like, I literally showed my stream yesterday, me doing it to Yasha in my match. I jumped at him 4 different times and saw how he reacted before I committed because I noticed he backdashed every single time. Like, that is a pretty common option, scaring somebody with your movement and seeing how they react before you commit, right? Like, I'm not saying his neutral is good, but like, by your logic, you should never lose to any anchor because they shouldn't just be able to get in for the most part. Because characters by themselves aren't designed to just skip neutral with things that just like, it's my turn.
Well,
no top tier really does that ever, actually. No character, actually. But like, then again, they're still strong anchors because of their reward for eventually hitting you, or how easy they can hit you once they get the block string. Like, that's what makes an anchor strong. And as far as Gohan goes, he has arguably the highest reward this game has ever seen for hitting you because he becomes the best in the game, or puts you in against your character if he's already at that level.
Inzem spin. I don't want to play neutral. Make Bardock jail Lariat into Vanish again.
No.
Yeah.
No, Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna have to disagree because I'm in the same set as Nitro. I just think you guys aren't good at the matchup.
Wait, you have to say you play the character.
But Nitro only says that on stream, off stream. This fella just says, "Oh yeah, this fucking character's broken."
No, he definitely was memeing. I was literally with him at Evo, and he was losing his fucking mind because of a dope Gohan.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, I also feel like, I mean, he was already playing Gohan before, but I think I actually picked up the character. He was like, "All right, I'm sick and tired of fucking losing to Wawa's Gohan. I'm gonna play this little shit myself."
He literally said he picked him up out of spite to show people how easy the character.
Yeah, he's on his fucking Tempest. He was like, "Leo's fucking broken. I'm playing him."
Yeah, and now he plays the character, and now on stream he's gonna fucking say the character is not that good because he's playing the character.
He's having
all that being said, though, we're having all this debate, but I think like even Cloud yourself, like you agree, is like maybe slightly tone it down. It's not like we're saying he's like.
Yeah, sure. You can make some adjustments on him.
I don't want to see the character get gutted.
Level 7.
Yeah, I just.
So my question is, how would you guys like to see him nerfed? Because I kind of want to see how y'all want to work. Because like everyone can pretty much agree, like he's a little too much, right? But how would y'all want to see him? What changes would y'all want to like
nerf it to us, please?
I would say like nerf
to us on the slower.
Yeah, slow the key blast down a little bit. I don't know, maybe a certain type of scaling when he's at level 7 could also come into play.
Air 2S, I don't care. Ground 2S needs to be slowed down. You can't just mash that in block strings with almost nothing I can do about it.
I'm not gonna lie. Do Gohan Tekken with 2S is the scariest shit I've ever seen. Because if you just tried to cross him up and he thought it was a DR, you just got punished. Like,
DR, if you stagger, you go for a command grab. If you do anything, pretty much you just get 2S
to EX legs. Nah, but the change I would like to see.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, light DP,
like,
please.
I personally think.
Oh yeah, Fred.
He should not be able to. How do I say this? On block, he should not be able to cancel medium DP at level 7. That is the only change I want to take away from him.
That I also agree with. I don't think. No, I think on like hit or whatever, he can do whatever the fuck comes.
Yeah, let him nuke you on hit. Have fun.
Yeah, but he should not be able to fucking do DP into fucking free get out of free card.
DP into plus frames is kind of crazy. A DP that will TOD you without spark into plus frames. Like if he's by himself with like 5.5 bars or 5 bars, he doesn't even need spark to kill you from a EX DP. You just die. You lose your entire character.
He killed you off of everybody. Literally everybody in the issue with one
back fist will kill you. Like the thing you said earlier, Cloud. Like if you just hold up with light legs, he actually has RPS where he can back fist you to catch your jump timing. And if you held up and he did that, you lost your character. He actually just kills him.
Off like L legs, you can get.
No, he does L legs into delayed back fist to catch a jump frame, right? EX back fist into EX legs, and that is a TOD if you have enough meter. It just kills you. Like 100. Like, I'm not even gassing. You just die. For doing the guarantee check that you said, is it really that guaranteed? And if you block set back fist, you are in another mind game with another DP. So like it's like, all right, come on, like it's a little bit too much. Like it's like trying to not interact with him is a bit scary because one interaction would just lead to you losing your entire character. So it's kind of like, I guess.
But also, even if he like most characters in this game, be like, oh, he has to jump forward off a light and stuff, and then he hits me with fucking light DP, comes down and jump, and then he's plus. And I have to take a 9-way 50-50 because he has double air dash JS, which you can't even 2H because the JS is plus.
Like he should be the strongest at 7 for sure. That's not fair. That's unfair for him not to be the strongest. But I feel like that DP is a little much.
Oh,
like,
I also don't think JS would not be plus.
It's like it makes so much sense. Like the other issue I have with him is I thought the point of the character was he was supposed to be less than of a character at 0, right? Like that's the point. But like the more you level him up, he becomes average, then above average, slightly above average, and yeah, you're doing too much, right? Like I think that's the point. So why is he hitting harder than Blue Gogeta at level 0? From a mix-up? Like he hits harder than Blue Gogeta off a 2 low in the corner at 0. Like what's going on? That's not less than, that's more than.
I mean, I feel where you're coming from with that ideology or like that concept, but I never looked at. I guess it makes sense because it's literally 0, but I never felt like level 0 is supposed to be like less than. Like he just gets better as a character the more you level up. I guess it makes sense to look at it that way. That's just never how I saw it.
0's less than, right? 1 is he becomes complete. He gets all the stuff he's supposed to be, right? Then 3 is like, okay, you're stronger than what you're supposed to be. And 5 is just like, all right, you're a little bit of a cheater. And 7 is just like,
if that's
7, right?
If that's how they're looking at it, that wasn't always the case, because you got to understand obviously that the level up system is severely different now than it was when the game came out. So the improvements he gets are vastly greater than what he got as a character in season 1. You know what I'm saying?
I'd say historically he's always been kind of less than of a character at 0 though, right? Even in those previous seasons.
Well, yeah, he was always weaker, right? Like level 1 is where you actually got, the 3L stuff, and he had more damage, and he actually got, the different loops and everything. Like, yeah, he always became better. Which is a big reason why you never wanted to play him on
literally
point.
Better than average at 0. Like his things are better than average at 0, which is the first time that's been a
so
thing.
You just feel like he just needs to be even worse at level 0, or
not necessarily, but it's just the example of you've overtuned him. That's what that's showing. The fact that he's doing more than other characters even at 0 is a pure example that he's been overtuned. Like Blue Gogeta's 2L start in the corner does about 4.2. Adult Gohan does almost 4.5, like solo, builds 2 bars with the sliding. Like I'm like, you're at 0? No doubt. Like at level 1, you're doing more than my characters with mediums off your L, really? Like that ass. Like this is like I feel like I know what they tried to do, but maybe giving him the damage increase per level and the new routes was too much in one change. They usually do that too, funny enough. They'll like do too many Nerfs in one change, or like too many Bustle character in one go. Think Blue Gogeta, right? What you want to avoid it desperately. I genuinely believe they did that with him, like hands down.
I mean, they also gave him the 2L buff and the light DP buff in the same patch too.
5L, right?
Yeah, the 5L and the light DP. But I think light DP they should make it to where it has like on hit you can have the same recovery like you do now, but on whiff this is to not have no recovery.
Yeah, like so like the weird thing about him is though, like I talked to my stream about this. Like realistically, like at level 3, he starts doing the best in multiple categories in the game at the same time. I think that's kind of too much just for 3. Like he has arguably the best movement at 3, right? Because he legitimately just has the most ways to change his air momentum in the entire game. Easily,
right, between the
double air dash,
between the key
legs,
blast and the legs, and
fast fall, right? He has the highest damage, right? He starts doing too much. His routing is too strong. He has arguably the best block strings. It's like, all right, that's enough slices. You're doing too much now. Come on, like, like you're only at 3. Relax.
Definitely looping fucking 0 on block because his fucking whole auto combo goes into 2L again.
Like, come on. But like, and that's just at 3, right? And a lot of people seem to be wrong about how they view the character because they think like, oh my god, he starts becoming too much at 7. Like, no, that starts at 3. He starts doing too much at 3. Like he gets a guarantee. He gets like Red Gogeta's level 3 mix up in the corner. But
okay, so let's just say they nerf his damage across the board. You think that normalizes it? You think that stabilizes the character more?
It will help a little bit. I think like the damage is like a little too much, right? Because at certain levels he's just doing more than the rest of the cast already. Then at 7 he gets even more out, so it enables that even more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the biggest issue realistically is the DP cancel at level 7. Like I'm like that's just like, come on. Like I get it. Maybe if that's what they're going for. Like if he spends 7 bars, he gets access to all that. But my thing is it's too strong for how easily he can get it. Like it used to be a meme, right? Like he has to spend 7 bars. Like yeah. Like how many times have people seen Wawa like get the bricks beaten off him his point and mid character? Same thing with Nitro. And Gohan just comes in with 7
That's
bars.
another thing too. Is like
meme 7 bar spark. It's just like he's one decision away from just.
It was
being the best,
it used to be a meme where the Gohan classic was you get to level 7 then you die, right? Well, you used to have to work a lot harder to get that and to build that bar and everything. It's significantly easier now. I mean, obviously people have optimized way more. The game has changed, building bar, and especially when you're playing with like Gogeta, who synergize so well, and then with the introduction of like the special tag or the active tag, whatever you want to call it, and everything. It like Nitro and Wano, they pull it off every match, basically. You know what I'm saying? And we have seen, like Inzem said multiple times, where they're down to Gohan, but he got them 7 bars though. So if you get touched, or let alone he already DHC'd into it at some point, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
God forbid he's winning.
Yeah, like God forbid he's winning and he's got level 7. Like it is over for you.
And it's just like win or lose. It's so favorable for you just for him existing. Which is again, I like things to be strong, but maybe a little too strong.
Yeah, it is funny though how the meme has reversed, where it used to be he got to level 7 but he's about to die, and that is the case, and like it could still be the case today, right? It's not like it's impossible for that to happen, but the roles have definitely reversed, where level 7 is not nearly as impractical as a lot of the guys out there in the Twitch chat or the YouTube comments might believe. If you watch the high levels of Gohan, like again Wawa, Nitro, and I know it's the highest of the high level, but that is what we're taking into account right now. It is not impractical really at all. And we have seen them destroy entire teams using that level 7 Gohan. Once he's activated, he is a force to be reckoned with.
Like, I don't know if you've seen the memes on Twitter, but it's just like it's a clip of Gohan at 1% health against a 14. The second he gets 7, that shit just ends to his whisper. Like that shit is so true. I've never been more afraid of a character in my life.
This is great.
Like Nitro literally kills his characters to get him to 7. I've never seen that. I was like, wow, this is not bad. And they're like, that's the issue, how this is not the worst thing to do. Like he'll be blocking a Gohan and be like, all right, DP level 1 with the next character just so he can live. Like he'll literally I'm like he's literally killing his other characters just to get him like 1 level.
It's actually kind of fucked up. But it's more fucked up because he has it with 18, and 18 doesn't get the hardest fucking punish. Like you don't get medium studded. Yeah.
So I'm just like, wow, like that's the level of strength this is at, where you're more than willing to sacrifice more than one of your characters just to get him to that level, right? I'm like, that is ridiculous. Like level 7 is valued more than multiple characters. Think about that.
No cap, the way we talking, it sounds like he should be a nerf.
No, he should be a nerf realistically, but I don't. I love because he is one of those unique characters. I love the idea of him. Like I feel like he is one of those in-depth characters. Like a level system is so cool. but so I don't want him to ruin it. I like the idea. Like I think at 7 he should be the best. That's only fair, right?
I think
But
a nice
just got
maybe
back.
not by much.
Are we still talking about adult Gohan?
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for him to finish this point. And I was like, all right, I think we spent enough time on Gohan. It's probably time to move on.
Well, wait, but we're talking about another Gohan already. I gotta go after this Teen Gohan one.
All right, for sure. All right, so Teen Gohan, I think he should mostly stay the same. Thoughts?
Yes. Agreed.
I mean, Obi and Pride play him. So.
I know.
Yeah, that's why I was waiting for one of them to speak up because
No. Realistically, I think majority of it. I think majority of the stuff, like, he does really good. I actually only really want 2 changes from him, and like, I'll let you guys know what it is. You guys can think I'm crazy or not, but I think sometimes bomb randomly drops, like literally just randomly drops. I think that needs to be fixed. That's more of like a bug thing, and I think his lariat should be like his air leg should be M priority. Not scaling, but priority. Because every lariat in the game is in priority, and he's like the only one, and I get hit by every jab in the game.
The flying kick, like the lariat.
Yeah.
No, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think everything other than that should just. I think that's the only thing I kind of want buff for him.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I don't really think a lot needs to be changed. Like he just. It's kind of like he's a character that if you buff too much, then he's kind of broken too. So.
All right. What about you, Obi? Any strong thoughts on King Gohan at the moment?
That's kind of true, I'd say. Realistically, I don't really see any changes to him.
Yeah, he's another one of those characters where I feel like he's pretty solid as is, and there's nothing in particular. I guess that's kind of a quality of life thing that Pred is saying with the legs and the bomb. I don't play him, so I don't know how common of an occurrence that is where it feels like characters just follow the bombs, but. Yeah, it
could be a little annoying.
I feel like he's fine.
Yeah, it just randomly happens, and then like the thing is about Dragon Ball, it's not forgiving if you drop a combo. Like, and that's how
you drop a combo, they down tech 5M, you die.
Down tech medium is crazy, bro.
But that's what we do.
That shit up. I be booting that shit up, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying. So like. And then I also have landing lag on my bomb, so it's like
that's what I'm saying. You drop that combo, they down tech 5M and you explode.
Yeah, and then I just don't want leg change. So that's why I think he should be. I don't know if you would consider that slightly buffed or if mostly stay the same, but that's.
I'm okay with putting him up there just because in the context of the conversation, like we acknowledge what it is that needs to be changed about him, so he can go up there. It's not like he needs like anything drastic, but. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he's like S Broly. Like you buff S Broly too much, he's just the best in the game.
He's already like a very solid. Like he's a pretty consistently a top tier throughout like majority of the seasons.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's not. Some people will be like, "Yo, I need this buff and buff," and it's like, all right. Some characters are just not meant to be top 5. And that's fine.
All right, so we can move on to Goku Black. And OB, I want to hear your opinion on this because you've obviously somebody who's played the character at the highest level for a while, and you've tried to make him work on more than one occasion. And you still play him at some times. So I feel like he's definitely in those slightly buff or buff category. So any changes that you think would be great?
The one thing I've always wanted with Goku Black.
Yeah,
the one thing I've always wanted with Goku Black is his dive kicks to be plus on block.
Like Cooler.
There's legit no reason for it not to be when there's people characters like Cooler that has it. Gogeta 4 that has it. You don't like the most oppressive characters. There's legit no other reason for him to not have it. And I'm talking about his medium dive kick as well. Not even his light one, his medium one. Like it's only useful in even EX. Especially EX actually. I'm bugging. Especially EX.
I mean, but he gets combo off.
I'll talk about the medium one because only in a corner.
Oh, fair.
You get super dash.
Well, no, because you can super dash.
Yeah, you can always super dash no matter what.
Off the EX one, right?
If you're
that's the medium one, not.
No,
off
you can always super dash off EX dive. You can even do IED with JH medium button if you're fast enough.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that sounds kind of lit.
Yeah, that's the EX one. I'm talking about the medium dive kick. It has no
I thought we were
reason
talking about EX.
behind it. Oh yeah, EX one. Yeah, you can super dash it, but the medium one is only useful for combos in the corner. You can't really confirm a bit unless you change characters.
Yeah.
So that shit needs a buff.
I
don't know until this day. I don't know why he hasn't got a low too well. Please,
That would be.
I would say-
I personally think that would be way too much. Don't
Okay,
get
I
me
was gonna say,
wrong.
but
That
he's
would
one of the,
become one of the best in the game.
so people have always said that. Can y'all believe, by the way, can y'all believe we lived in a timeline when once upon a time niggas wanted Vegeto's 2L to be a low? Anyway, no, Goku Black's Goku Black's one of those characters where like he would actually benefit supremely from having a low 2L though.
I think that would easily make him one of the best characters of the game without question, and that would be way too much.
Yeah, exactly. So why not give it to him? Make him
No.
playable.
That would break him completely. Look at his pressure. He already has some of the hardest pressure to get out of in the entire game. Right? He's looping block strings by himself.
That would break a lot of characters. Like, really think about it. Characters that shouldn't even have a little 2L have it.
No, but like you gotta think. He has 2 different moves that set him up for mix-up. Like just in the air. Like he would just true string 3 ways back to back to back. And you have to guess which side he was on when he does it.
Okay, and what are those 2 moves?
Light instant transmission and EX. They put him in the air right beside his opponent with an air action with no land recovery. He would just 3-way you with every assist almost. With unreactable 3 ways.
Okay,
right? People think Blue Gogeta's fucked up with his bad neutral. Imagine Goku Black.
Okay, but what if they give him the low 2L and then you only get that off of EX plus an assist?
That would still be too much because his neutral and block strings are too strong for that. Like his block strings are meant for him not to be able to mix you easily.
I would say, well, that's just
like,
where
block strings
that is the design that they the path they chose with the character.
Of making all the characters good.
No, but like that's like further than good. That's like in my head that's like giving Vegito a 2-0 low. Literally the exact same thing, actually. Like the exact same thing.
That wouldn't make sense at all for Vegito to have it. Like, it would
why
make
wouldn't
sense
it?
for Goku Black to have it. Now, why not? Give him more mix potential, like other characters.
I'm saying, why wouldn't it make sense for Vegito, but make sense for Goku Black? Because in my eyes, they're kind of the same level of category. Where like, okay, why would you give one the other, but you give this one that? Like, they're both obviously meant to be neutral pressure characters, right? Like, both have very inescapable pressure. Both have very, very strong neutral, right? Like, why? Like in my head, I'm like, why would you give him that? Like, I actually personally wanted them to speed up his 2M to make it 10 frames or potentially 9 frames, not fast enough to be truly unreactable, but enough to make you pay attention. Having a truly unreactable low would be way too much. Like, think about it. He corner carries you true full screen with every combo, right? Like, he will put you in the corner, no matter what. If you get hit by him, you're going to the corner. EX God Slicer. So you would have that.
I mean, you say all of this, but lab coat exists.
Yeah, but let's not use the character who is clearly designed to be the best at everything, right? That's the outlier, right? And even that, her corner carry doesn't even come close to Goku Black's. Goku Black can air to air you with no air actions, like already uses double jump and send you to the corner with just one EX move. Like no matter what, he will put you in the corner. Like he would have that. He would have his neutral. He would have his block strings with every one of his buttons being safe, like literally all of them except for his H's, with 2S, which is plus frames, with a command grab, with 5S, which is he can loop plus on block, and it gives him his assist back every time he does that. Like that would be way too much in one character. Like way too much.
So you don't want all characters to be good? That's what you're saying?
No, he would be broken. That's not good. That's broken. That's like disgustingly broken. That's like lab coats level.
That's just what
this doesn't make sense. Like
I'm
just saying, like
completely broken.
That sounds great.
I'm saying like that would be
exactly. It sounds great.
Y'all want characters to be like overtuned?
Let's do it. Party.
Wait, you want characters to be like overtuned?
Why not?
That's fighting.
I mean,
because like I'm of the train of thought that people didn't like when lab coat was overtuned. We kind of want to move away from that, you know.
You're
like,
not gonna
lab
compare
coat.
it's because it's only black over here.
No, but Goku Black with a 2-0 low is a overtuned character. Like that's completely overtuned.
I mean, is he overtuned as a character? Or does he just have like one really strong mix up?
No, so the way the way he is right now is he's like really, really good in a lot of categories. Like his pressure. Characters, for the most part, aren't meant to be able to just loop strings by themselves. Like, probably the characters on one hand who could do it. Like, I know Baby can do it a little bit. Goku Black can do it. Outside of that, I actually don't see anybody else who can just do it like they can. Like, for a character to be able to do that with his pressure, all of his buttons already being safe, and having some of the most bullshit neutral in the game. Like, people don't realize how strong his neutral actually is. Like, that 5S shuts down a lot of matchups. God Slicer shuts down a lot of matchups. He has Walmart, Empty Vanish. Like... He has like a lot of strong stuff, broken corner carry, like good meter gain, tag cancels and stuff. To give him the one thing he's meant to not have is access to easy mix-ups. So because of that, he has access to all this stuff other characters don't. So if you give him that mix-up,
I'm sorry, I can't believe. I'm sorry, I have to stop you there. I can't believe I'm hearing this from a guy that's defending Gogeta 4.
wait. Hold on, rewind it. You thought I was serious when I was defending him? That was a troll. I thought that was obvious, but I was clearly trolling. I was laughing the whole time. I'm not actually defending
You
that.
can't be troll.
Hmm?
You can't be trolling at times like this, my brother.
These are very serious matters. You understand?
Oh, I mean, everyone in my stream knew I was trolling. I thought that was the memo. Like, I'm pretty sure even like Nitro and Pred knew I was trolling. But for obviously because you don't know me that much, that was obviously troll the auto combo shit. The blue Gogeta shit, I wasn't trolling. I genuinely mean that. Right? Like the Goku Black, I'm like I'm very adamant. Like I don't want them to give characters like things that would just like imagine they made S Broly like all of his buttons are like.
I get where you're coming from
now.
because characters
like,
are not supposed to be perfect, right? They're supposed to have flaws. There's certain things that they excel at, and there's something else that they can't do. So I understand your train of thought with like Goku Black is good at all these other things, and he has really good pressure. He's designed around not being able to easily mix you. So if you give him easy mix up, then he's just an all around really strong character. And maybe so much so.
I think he'd be like top 2, top 3 if you gave him to a low way. I'm being so serious. I think it would go that just like he already has a lot of things. It's just like that one thing's holding him back is like his assists are kind of okay, and he can't really hit you.
I mean, yeah, opening you up with the character is obviously his biggest fault. Like he's got a strong assist. He's got obviously the good neutral. He's got the combos. He's got
yeah, some of the most broken block strings in the entire.
I don't know if I'd go that far calling it that, but he does have strong block strings. Honestly, he's got a special move that lends very well to like tagging in other characters, and you know, his DHC is still not great. I think that's another big weakness for him, but yeah,
that was actually going to be my next point as well. His DHC.
Yeah, just changing his DHC to the light grenade instead of the
light grenade. I know
yeah.
Axice isn't here, but when I was talking to him when we was in New York, he said the one change he'd like to see with Goku Black is that he wants them to change his DP super. There's certain functionalities that it actually had before they made it a DP that he can't do it now, and his DP is kind of almost useless because he can just banish it.
Right.
So it's like that actually, in his opinion, that actually serves to nerf the character in anything. So maybe that changed. Obviously, he's not here, but I like adding points of like other people who main the characters.
Nah, that's actually a good point because you actually can banish his level 1 super. That's actually kind of stupid.
They should make it that. They should make it that so you can't.
Yeah, on reaction.
Yeah, like like maybe like have him throw it a little bit more downwards or fix the hitbox, so like it'll just catch the vanish, like kind of like Cell. But yeah, no, I know I was pretty adamant about that.
You had much stronger opinions on it than I expected, but I think we could safely move on to the next character. I still think that he needs buffs. Whether or not that's a low 2L, obviously that's a hot topic of conversation.
Yeah,
but
I would never drop him if he had a 2L. Jesus Christ.
I think GT Goku is in slightly buff. I think this character doesn't need crazy buffs.
I think there's only need to buff his assist, and that's
what I was gonna say. I think if you bust A assist, he's fine. I think GT Goku is actually kind of underrated right now and a lot stronger than people are giving him credit for, just because he's been nerfed and he lost the assist. If you give him back his assist, I think he's good. But Cloud, you seem really excited about this one. So go on.
There's sure give him back his assist or whatever, but what I want back is his same side or cross up power pole mix. They nerfed it to where he doesn't get reverse Kame if he stays same side.
Oh, really?
And he crosses up, he gets regular grounded Kamehameha, right?
Is that why I never see that mixed up anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought people just sucked and they weren't using it. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I didn't know they took it.
I didn't know he lost it.
They nerfed it because he auto corrects to face you now, unless you do a really deep cross up and then back to same side.
Oh,
but at that point, your opponent is just gonna, fuzzy jump out of it or something, or 2H you because you're so far and so high.
I just would like to also add, by the way, that I knew this was gonna take a while, but it's taking even longer than anticipated. So I would like to start going through some of these characters a bit quicker. But yeah, especially because we've already had a few people leave, and I'm sure the rest of you guys are still here. We're gonna have to start taking off. So
absolutely. But that's my piece. Just GTA short, but also power pole mix. Bring that back. Let him get reverse Kame because it's better and safer than Beam.
Give my man his assist back. That's it. He's already got like.
Blue Goku, I think, is another.
Stay the same.
He's another one of those characters that I feel like is really high up on that tier list, and maybe not quite as strong as some of the others that are in this conversation, but one of those ones I think he's in the conversation for 5th best character in the game. I don't think I quite put him there, but he's in the conversation. He makes a strong argument, but I think he's fine as he is.
Yeah, he's fine.
Just a little bit. EX dive kick recovery.
That's it.
And I want
that's it.
Yeah, and I want the punch from light command grab gone because his command grab is like 4 frames more recovery than other light command grabs, but that's another can of worms. So I think we could all generally agree upon EX dive kick recovery.
Yes.
Yeah, that move makes no sense.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. We're gonna move him down to just slightly nerf. Just give him like literally a slap on the wrist. He'd be alright. Super Saiyan Goku.
Let's go. Nitro's team is on stage.
Yeah, I didn't even realize.
His entire team is slightly nerfed. Oh wow, oh my god.
Super Saiyan Goku, another character kind of like GT Goku, where I think this character is underrated right now.
Slightly buff.
I think
no, no,
he's the same. Honestly, I think Obi will.
I would say mostly the same or slightly buff.
I say slightly buff.
I think he will stay the same because right now he's like underrated because the better character like the top 5 are so good, but when you play Wawa who plays the character now and you're like, bro, that character is so good, but literally you have no reason to play him because the top 5 exists. But if they're not here, literally the character is really strong, and he's better than when he was in season 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Obi, you have played Wawa when he played Goku.
He stepped away now, but Sage, some of you guys may not know this, right? Because it wasn't streamed, but Sage almost made it out of the LCQ for World Finals while playing Goku. I mean, all of you in this call know. I'm talking to Twitch and YouTube. But Sage ended up getting 4th out of however many LCQ entrants there were. I believe he lost to Noka and.
He lost to Wade.
He beat Noka.
And,
he lost to Wade and I forget who.
Kite. Wade and Kite.
Wade and Kite, yeah. Oh yeah, I actually saw the match against Kite. Yeah, he was playing like Baby Goku and I forget who's
Gogeta Blue.
Yeah, Blue Gogeta. So and mind you, Sage is obviously a phenomenal fighting game player and was at one point one of the best DBFZ players. He plays the game kind of loosely here or there sometimes, but I think it does speak volumes as well, not only his strength as a player, but the strength of the character, right? I do think Super Saiyan Goku has a lot of good things going for him. I think his Tatsu, while obviously not a perfect move, like if it whiffs, it's very easy to punish, but I do think they've made that move a lot better. He gets access to his own plus frames.
They should make it more consistent.
Yeah,
like if it hits you, maybe like
a
little bit of a capture hit.
That is one of those moves where it should kind of like if you legitimately get hit, it should kind of vacuum you in. Yeah.
The only other change I always like to say he has that I hear no one say is I really hope they give him a 1M and have it be just the season 2 2M, like the same distance, the same frame data.
That would never happen, but that'd be.
I feel like that would be fair for him. I feel like for him that's kind of his whole thing, right? Like his block chains are extremely stable. I feel like him not having a safe medium could be fixed, and that is it. Like I think it'd be really cool if he could just start using 1M in a block chain. I think it would also add depth to the character. When to use 1M and when to use 2M, whatever.
I feel it. All right, UI Goku, nerf him even more. Fuck this nigga.
Jesus Christ.
Nah, I'm kidding. But I
buff this ass.
He's not. Ain't no way you convinced me he belongs in that top tier. But
well, the reason I say he would be in buff is because I want his A assist back, which is a huge buff, right?
Okay. Also, I don't care what anyone says. It's a bug. It's not a feature. Fix the fact that if he does air Kame and I vanish, I end up in front of him instead of behind him. I'm so sick and tired of not being able to punish that move or evade that move. I don't care what no one says.
Flips backwards as he shoots.
I don't care if I vanish after he does the flip. I should end up behind him.
You can only have that if he can actually super dash from his beam, because he can't do that right now. Him and base Goku,
which is kind of weird. At first, I thought it was kind of weird that people were asking for that, but then I was like, wait, no, Cell can do it, so Goku should be able to do it too.
A lot of people so I actually do agree those characters could have it, but a lot of people actually mistaked what they meant by that patch. They didn't mean for you to use it in combos. They actually meant what they said they meant. It's for you to be able to use it in assist and neutral and stuff and get pressure from it. Like that was on purpose. A lot of people mistook them from wanting to use it in combos. But I mean, I would also love them characters to also get it too, because I feel like it would be fine. Realistically, the change I want to see from UI is I think he should be able to super dash after his EX into beam, that mix up. So at least if he's solo, he can actually convert off it if you do get hit by that one instead of just vanishing. And give him the beam super dash chain so his routes are a little bit better, so that his reward is a little bit higher for being able to hit you and stuff. I do know that if Nitro was here, he used to always complain about the character that the RPS situations he puts you in, he can't actually force you to interact with him because you can always just hold S and super jump away from him. Like if he does medium, like the lariat, that's -2. He's like, the whole point of him is kind of like he can press 5L, and if you want to check him, he can steal his turn with the EX move, right? Like hit whatever, like that mind game. But like he can't stop you from just holding super jump and backing up. Like he literally can't do anything about it. So you can always leave his mind games, which is actually like, I think he should have something to at least stop jump, like at least make you block in the air if he knows you want to get away, to at least force you to interact a little bit with him. But outside of that, I think he's cool.
So do you think the changes that he could use warrant putting him up here in the actual like straight up buff category?
Because doing that will put him in the categories of these other characters. I can see it a little bit, maybe.
I don't know if UI Goku.
It looks a little weird.
That's what I'm saying. Like I just
at a glance, it looks a little weird.
I feel like the optics of it just a little bit off. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So you put him in slight buffs, maybe, because it definitely looks a little bit better. But like, maybe not all those changes, but realistically, he just has an issue with the reward he has for doing what he's doing, and you can choose to always leave his point of interaction, which all the other type of characters like him, you can't really do that. Like Red Gogeta, you can't leave if he knows you want to leave, right? Hit, you can't leave if he knows you want to leave. Like,
sure.
He's the only one that kind of does that mind game, but can't do that.
All right, how are we feeling about Base Goku? I think this is a character who, at one point, I think at one point, Base Goku had an argument for being like a top tier character, and he didn't get that time to shine, and now he's fallen really far behind, and he definitely could use some help now. I think there was a point where I felt like the grapplers were the best in the game, right? So like Z-Broly, Base Goku, etc.
Yeah, before UI.
Yeah, and then he never really got that chance to kind of be shown off, and then now he's just like completely in the gutter. So not completely in the gutter, but he's
he kind of fell off early season. Right?
Yeah, he's fell off quite a bit, so he definitely needs some changes. Whether or not they need to be big ones or slight ones, I'm not certain. But I mean, Inzem, you've played this character extensively, so how do you feel?
Oh man, I know my stream's been waiting for this one. The amount of money this character has cost me. All right, so first things first. 2M and 5H needs their range increased. All the other Gokus of his archetype got it. He's the only one they just shafted for whatever reason, right? I do think his 3S, 1S, and 2S series needs to have a little recovery removed off them. For reference, they're minus 45 on whiff, right? For him whiffing one of them. To put that into perspective, Majin 21 whiffing her up beam is minus 42. Him whiffing a Ki Blast is more unsafe than a character shooting a beam. So that's like, it's that bad, right? So maybe take a little bit of recovery off it, maybe to like minus 40. Normal Ki Blast at around 37. So I think a Ki Blast that has that special property should maybe be a little bit more negative.
But it shouldn't be as bad as a beam.
But not yet. They should be worse.
Well, yeah, worse than a beam.
The other change I would like to see from him is his Spirit Bomb charges. Right now, like the other charge moves of this game, or like the stockpile moves, like Majin 21 stocking her steals up, so they're more plus with each one. 17 doing Power Blitz, so they're just plus. His Spirit Bomb is always -1, and regardless of which charge he's at, it's -1. And I think that's just stupid. Like, I think there should be a reward for wanting to charge up the move instead of throwing it. I think it should start off as maybe -1, maybe even like neutral, because realistically 17 charges once and he's just plus. I think that's crazy. Not crazy in the sense that it's too strong, that like base Goku doesn't have that. But like maybe the normal one is minus or 0. Then if he's at level 2, maybe +3 or 4, and if he's at level 3, plus like 10. Because I think that would just give more incentive to actually wanting to charge the move. You know what I mean? I feel like that's unfair to him if he just charges it for no extra thing. I know Klaus said something really interesting that I never thought about with how his B assist works. With how if he charges it, there could be maybe a special input where if you hold back and call his assist, he'll throw it
I heard some talk about that. I don't know how I feel about that one. I think that's a little.
It could be a bit strong.
I'm saying that I think that's kind of
that is something unique. I think that's cool. It could be kind of OD.
I think that would be kind of nuts. It's a cool idea, but I just feel like that'd be kind of nuts.
Yeah, I thought that was such an outside of the box one. I thought that was so cool. I wanted to mention it. And the last change I want him is not a change for him, a change for other characters so he can be used. His DHEs just suck. Like his energy sucks, right? He's not meant to be put on every team, obviously. But the characters they gave the ability to spare bomb are really only point characters. Like they keep adding characters to give it, and most of them are point characters, and that doesn't really help him too much. Because obviously he's meant to be played on the back, right? I mean, the more characters are dead, the stronger he becomes. It's kind of them screaming at you to play him in the back, right? So with that being said, usually teams are meant to be built around him with that idea in mind. And if the team is built around him and the way to use the strategy of the team, which is the Spirit Bomb, is on the point character, if you lose your point character, the strategy of the team is dead. And that doesn't help him at all. Like a support character needs to have the ability to Spirit Bomb. That's why SSJ Goku, base Goku, was so good. Because SSJ Goku was in the back, and even if your point character died, well, the strategy of your team is still alive until you get rid of the character that can set it up, or just get rid of him. So like, I wish more supporting characters kind of played in the mid or anchor role, had the ability to Spirit Bomb. So that would help. He can actually be played on certain teams. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
Like,
I think
outside of that, he's chill.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement though. Slight buffs. Doesn't need anything supremely crazy, but he definitely has fallen off. Then Gotenks obviously needs bug fixes.
He needs to be fixed. Other than that, he's perfect.
Yeah, I do think Gotenks as a character is so strong. He's got legitimate bugs that need to be fixed with his auto combo and stuff, and his assist. And then that's basically it.
Yeah, that's it.
Now this is gonna be one I know y'all gonna have some strong feelings about.
Okay.
Buff hit.
All right, let me get mine out of the way. Mine is super simple. There's only one thing I want for him before y'all come for the boys. EX stands should have a little bit more recovery.
Yes, thank you, please.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
Maybe
that's not
maybe an
it.
assist
That's
rate.
not it.
If
But
Nerf.
yes.
That's it for me.
No, that remained the same, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of all the hits options, everyone stop for a minute. Everyone stop for a minute. Of all hits options, that's the only mix potential he has, which I don't even consider a mix.
Oh, wait, what?
Is he wrong?
not
Is he
true.
wrong about that?
Well, I mean, the fact that you
am I
have to
wrong?
stand up against hit and his cross up is faster than most because of that is kind of ridiculous.
I mean, you have to stand up against it because his low is so fucking slow, which it needs the buff, by the way.
Make hit 2M OTG.
And you know it. You guys know
No.
it. That's the only
Make-
thing
that shit is a barely reactable as
Make
it
hit
is.
2M OTG.
Bro, the thing about hits
You
2M is
say
that
at
bitch is
27
barely
frame-
reactable.
Hold on. You're saying a 27 frame low is hard to react. Are you kidding me?
In the context of what you have to look for in the character, yes, it is. Same way, sometimes a beam in neutral, which can be more than 30 frames, is hard to react to because they're looking for other things. The whole point of mix up is that's the point. Like it's when you actually see people block hits to him, it's on one of the last frames to crouch. It's never early. You never see that shit. When they block it, it's like the right before the frame it hits because that shit is hard. Like
I mean, but
that shit is actually legitimately difficult to block, bro. Like
I don't think you lost me on that one. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Hits to him.
Must be trolling.
Yeah.
You must. Be
No,
trolling.
I mean, if you actually go back and watch any footage of anybody
I hear
fighting
what
the
you're saying.
character, look at the timing they blocked
understand.
it to him. It's very.
I
late.
understand the idea of mental stack. I understand the idea of like obviously there's always other things you're looking out for that makes this option that much stronger. And yeah, people reacting to things late. I think there are other factors that obviously play into that, such as obviously the tournament environment, nerves, there's any number of things, right? But granted, I'm not competing against Wade and OB on a regular basis, but
No, you're capping. It's definitely not easy to block his 2M.
Yeah, if it was easy, there's no way world class players would get hit by it.
Well, I'm not saying it's easy per se at when you're playing against these two niggas, but it's just hard to react to.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm more so just saying it's like you saying it's a 27 frame move. There's no way it's hard to react to is crazy because you're taking out the context.
I feel like more often than not you're going to react to it. I feel like it has a lower success rate than success rate. I mean, a lower failure rate than success rate.
It does, but then like it's just a normal at the same time. So like he's doing it and then canceling out of it, and then if you start looking for that, you're not going to block the cross up. If you're looking for both of those, you're getting DR'd, and if you somehow take the DR, there is no way in hell you're dealing with EX stance. That's just not a thing. Like it's not even humanly possible to look out for all of his options at the same time. Like I've yet to see.
Let me ask you, Obi. Do you feel like there's anything about? Do you feel like there's anything about hit that actually needs to be toned down at all, or do you feel as if he's fine as he is? I know you play the character, so your answer could be biased, but that's fine.
He's fine the way he is.
I figured you would say that. I wish Wade wasn't asleep.
He is fine the way he is.
No,
if anything, he needs air options. He has none. Absolutely nothing. In the air, all he does is just jump and float around. He has no other options.
Bust his fuck on the ground.
Okay.
Fair enough, he's a ground character. Like that's how he's designed.
For what it's worth, hits.
He has no.
For what it's worth, Hit is another one of those characters that I also feel is very strong. I don't know if I necessarily have him in the like possibly top 5 conversation. I think he is lacking in some areas and very good in some others. But he's another one of those characters that I feel like people could start picking out of spite, and he goes up significantly once the top ones get gutted. So.
Out of spite.
Wait, can I?
Well, because I feel like every top player that doesn't play Hit hates Hit so much. Y'all all feel so strongly about the character.
Don't you feel like there's a little reason for that? It's kind of like unanimous across the regions. That's kind of rare.
Yeah, but
like every region came to the same conclusion about that character.
Okay, and you make a valid point, but then my counterpoint is if he's that good, if he's that much of a problem, why don't more people pick him? Why are there only 3 Hit players?
But that's the same for character like that's the same for character like
that's what I'm trying to say.
Beerus,
There's only
Zamasu.
2. No, stop for a second. Cause I know you'll go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy first. There are only 2 Hit players that give
No, there is
the
4.
world problems.
There's only 2 at the highest level giving people really work.
Raptor is not
Okay, no,
bad.
Raptor is. Listen. Raptor is the homie. He's incredibly talented, but Raptor is not regularly traveling and competing to these events because he's all the way in Australia. So at the highest level on a regular basis, there's only 2 niggas actually playing this character. There are really 4, I guess you want to count Neo and Raptor for sure, right?
No,
but
that is true. But you also got to look at it in the context of the situation. Like he's an unorthodox character.
Yes.
Like there's a reason people in season 3 weren't picking Gotenks, even though he was arguably the best.
That's partially because Gotenks actually took a little bit of execution and skill to play to some degree compared to some of the other characters. And I feel like that's still the same case. Like people can say whatever they want about Hit, like not taking skill or being like brain. I don't like saying that phrase, but you know what I'm saying? Or just mashing EX stance and stuff like that. But if it was that easy, more niggas would be picking that character. I don't care what anyone says. If a character is that strong and that simple, people pick it. And I don't even think Hit's that weird or like that unorthodox.
But
you don't think he is?
In the context of the game,
I mean, his combos mainly resolve for him being on the ground.
Well, let me.
His 2M being slow is not.
What I mean is like
his neutral.
No, I agree. What I mean is that so I feel like a very common opinion of Hit, especially more so on the casual side of play, right? Which again, this is the one I'm more in tune with. I even used to feel this way, is that Hit's like hard or like too weird to play. But as somebody who used to feel that way and then pick the character up, he's not nearly as weird to play as people think. Like, yes, his combo routes and everything like that, the way you play him is different. But in terms of like the weirdness or like the unorthodoxness, like it's not nearly as bad as I feel like people try to make it out to be, or as they believe without having played the character themselves.
I still think he's pretty far removed from the base character than most other characters in the game.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. That's why not many people play him, because he's so different from most of the cars.
when you ask people why they're not playing Hit, literally when you ask every French player why they're not playing Hit while we all complain about him, they just say because he's boring as hell, which is true. He's boring.
That's cap.
And
Hit
that's
is
the
sick as fuck.
I mean,
that is objective. That's whatever.
But yeah,
that's subjective. Yeah.
And literally, you can say the same about when you ask them about you're complaining about 18. Why you're not playing 18? They all say the same. It's boring as hell. So maybe that's the reason why people don't play him, because they feel that he's boring.
I mean, that is fair, because from my standpoint, I feel like fucking Vegito's boring as all fuck, but everybody plays him anyway. Yeah. And I feel like there's like UI Goku, like everyone played UI Goku in the most boring possible way, but he was on every fucking team that won a regional, so.
But it's like so the thing about
the only thing boring I can say a Hit is just his combos. His combos are boring as hell.
So
even I'm admitting it. It's just his combos.
The argument though of if he is this strong, why is more people playing him, has always been a terrible argument to take in most fighting games or anything in general, because there is way too many cases for different reasons as to why a character's not being picked, even though they are arguably the strongest in the game, or a character's being picked a lot, even though they're weak.
And
there's so many.
And you're right. You're right in what you're saying. But all I'm saying is that if a character is that strong or is really that good, niggas play that character.
So like the thing about Hit that actually is why the top level players don't like him is because a lot of situations where you'd have to choose something because you'd have to interact with them, right? Like it's Key Blast versus aerial RPS or Reflect versus this or whatever versus whatever. He removes those interactions of RPS with his tools. He doesn't have to. Like that's the actual reason why people hate him. That and how his assist caters to being wrong and still being fine because it's defensive assist.
So I think,
but like that's actually why people don't like playing.
That's slightly nerf. To me, what needs to be nerfed about that character? Okay, I'm a start. So the assist should not autocorrect. Like there is no way that assist autocorrect for no reason, literally. Then the EX kick, I don't know why that puts you in an RPS situation. Why I block it? It's already hard to block it. Like it's hard at high level. And when I block it, I'm in RPS. Why? It should be at least in -7 or -8. I don't care. Or if you keep it the same, that's only blue life. Like make it blue life, because it's a DP. Literally, you can't level 3 that because it will punish your level 3. It's more safe than a DP.
So let me ask: Does everyone here? Wait, did I die?
No,
okay, everything got super silent for a second. Does everyone here other than OB think Hit needs a slight nerf?
Yeah. Yes, actually, for the most part, I only want to see him not be able to cancel EX that fast, slow it down a little bit, just a little bit,
Right, like 2
and then just
frames,
stop his
maybe
assist
3.
from fucking auto correcting. There's no way I see him look left. I jump behind you, and he turns around and happy birthdays me, and I'm like, oh, I guess you're better than me.
Okay, you know,
Also,
I'll give you that.
I forgot. Wait, let me add that. He literally have, when he got Meter, he literally have the best rune start in the game because 5M or EX kick, you can't do anything about that. You need to leave the situation.
Yes,
but
yes, you can.
They play.
Yes, you can.
No.
Stop right there. You can.
No.
You just jump
Okay,
on.
what if we do this, right? What if I change the slightly nerfed tier to slap on the wrist and we put hit in there? There we go.
I feel like that's actually better than slight nerfs. People get weird when they see.
Yeah, I again, I'm big on like the connotation behind certain words, and the more I think about it, I'm like, because all the characters we have here, like, I don't want people to think like, oh, this character is just way too good. I was like, nah, give them a slap on the wrist and they're okay, you know.
You know, Lotus, there's one thing I never even mentioned about hit, which people are not even gonna agree on. You know what that is?
Go on.
Give him DHT
It's
on
5M.
the assassination.
What about the 5M?
No, it's 5M. Like, for the love of God, why does his hurt box come out so quick? You know, it could be punished by multiple
It's a
things.
teleporting normal. That's just a style of normal they have in this game. He's not the only one that has that.
It's it actually reminds me of like the issue with like Beers to him where the hurt box is active way before the hitbox. So like I feel you on that.
It's literally the same style of move as Blue Gogeta's 5H.
And that's
it's actually
exactly
the
the
teleporting
reason why
normals. Actually, they do that because he's teleporting. Like, because the move is like that, there's certain situations where it's actually better than every other 5M that goes that far in the game, what it's worth. Like,
I think
you can
it's
use it to pass through assists.
And that's why that's why nerfing EX stance wouldn't even make sense, because his 5M is good, but it's not reliable. I promise.
Do you think he should be able to cancel EX stance that fast though? Like as fast as he's doing? A move that is for a frame 4, tap a bar, fully invul, not just invul, it's full invul. Like, that's not normal, in my opinion. Like, it's a fine for him to have that, but do you think he should be able to cancel something that fast? Like, that's doing something full invul that tracks to you.
Yeah, but it cost him a lot, and hit needs bar.
a half a bar?
He does. Yeah.
A half a bar?
He does.
I do think hit is one of the most meter hungry characters in the game.
But hold on, if he can't, but the thing is that if he cancels it straight away, people would be mashing anyways, unless you spend another bar to do EX stance.
You said the who's mashing? Sorry.
A lot of people be mashing him.
Oh, like mashing on him?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I meant like the context of like in neutral and block strings. Like, he can DR crush you with a medium starter. I've seen it. Like, that's how fast he cancels it. He cancels it so fast that you saw the EX flash, mistakenly thought it was a DR, teched with a button, and he had the time to 5M you before that button came out. Like, that's how fast he can cancel it. Like, he can, in neutral situations, he can literally do EX stance cancel to pass through an assist, like, immediately. And there's like, out of all the characters who can pass through assists, he by far has the best one, because he can choose not to commit to anything. He can just ignore the situation, and like, there's nothing you do about it, because again, it's full invul, not just invul. You can't even super it.
But people don't really notice, and I don't really want to say it because it's my character. But he can only do that in one string, and that's his 5M. If you don't do it with his 5M, it's gonna whiff every time.
What's gonna whiff?
His EX stance cancel.
Into 5L, I'm guessing you mean?
Yeah. Every time, unless you
can't. Yeah, no, that's why I said he's gonna DR crush you with a fucking 5M. He's gonna do 5L EX stance cancel 5M. That shit kept happening to me at install, and I'm like, he does it that fast? I'm like, that's really 5M? Because I thought he was gonna DR me, the character who has like 4 different DRs.
I mean, he can't really DR, but that should be obvious though. If it's not it's a 5M, not a 5L. Don't you agree?
No. When you see the EX flash, you think it's a DR, so that's what is DR crushing you, the EX flash. But he does EX flash cancel 5M, and he does it so fast that it will actually hit your DR button, even if you tech with 5L. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's able to cancel it that fast that he can hit a medium button for a DR crush. That is kind of crazy.
What else? He needs it. What else has he got? Honestly,
the character.
Honestly, I would like to make a whole. I would like to make a whole video of just getting Obi, Wade, Inzem, and maybe a couple others, and just having a whole conversation about Hit, because and Kasuga as well, because I know so many of you guys feel so strongly about this character. I think Hit's a really cool character, and I would just like to hear it from myself. But that said, I would like to move on because we still have a good handful of characters to get through.
I feel you. You can move on, but to me, he stays the same.
I mean, I would
these guys suck up.
I would also put him in mostly stays the same, but for the sake of everyone, I'm gonna put him in slap on the wrist tier, and then we just gonna keep it on. Now Janemba, another one of these characters who I think is in that top 5 conversation. Like legitimately, I think he's the new Z Broly. I think he's very strong. I think he's one of those characters. Depending on what happens to the top 4, he might need to come down a little bit. I think he's fine as he is currently in the game. But I might put him in slap on the wrist. But the thing is though, I would also be fine with putting him in mostly stay the same because I legitimately don't know what the fuck I would change about him. But I do think he's really, really good. But what do y'all think?
Can I say this real quick? I'll just get mine out the way.
2L, 5L, 2L.
Make his 5L a 7 frame. The same Blue Vegeta treatment. It's doing a little too much for a 6 frame. And just add a little bit of recovery to his J2H so that if it is baited out, you can actually punish it.
That sounds good to me.
But also
just a little
make
bit.
his J2H better so that it wins in the air.
What do you mean it always wins? That's just an anti-air.
No, it loses the spin.
Okay, but what doesn't?
Not really.
Actually.
It clash with spin only if you do it like really early, like Wade did against Fenrir.
I think that's a super situational thing.
So it clashes if you're guessing. Stop guessing. React.
Yeah. Exactly.
Never mind then. Yeah.
Right, well, yeah. I guess we don't really have to stay on Janemba too much. I think we actually all feel very similarly about him. Okay. So slap on the wrist
You're
here.
lucky we don't have more French players here for Janemba. That would have been a war.
Well, Wade was supposed to be here, but that boy knocked out.
So like Kane and Yasha, they hate that character so much.
They need to nerf the stagger, the teleport, and it should be good.
Jiren, I think, is mostly stay the same. I think he's legitimately perfectly fine as is. I feel the same way about Kefla. I think.
No. She definitely needs to be buffed. I'm sorry.
There you go.
Wait. No. Let me say why. Literally.
This is his character. Let him rock.
There is literally no reason that characters still do 3k damage mid-screen from like a light starter when characters do a ton of damage. There is no way that her rejump is harder than every other character while not being optimal, and the fact that doing the 226M, the up ball, is more optimal than doing the rejump, but it's character specific for like 100 damage more. Like, no, they definitely need to buff her damage. And also, their damage on 2H sucks. Like, yeah, no. They need to buff damage at the very least.
I mean,
and
I'll give you
then,
that much.
After that,
I'll give you that at least. I'll give you damage.
After that, they need to buff the dash, but not in the ground, in the air. Because right now, it's so slow that if you do air key blast into that because you react to someone super dashing you, the super dash will literally autocorrect and punish you. While I react to your super dash, I should be safe at the very least, but
That's
no.
fair. I'll put her in slightly buff.
I actually feel like a little bit about this character because it's actually one of my favorite characters that I just won't play because I feel like she's not complete. The only 2 things I realistically want to see from her is I do think her combo theory isn't complete yet. She's still doing season 3 combos. And I think the reason that is because her knockdown is tied to an S input instead of a light, medium, or heavy. So she can't choose to add more to her mid-screen route and EX it to guarantee her knockdown. If she does an assist route, she literally just can't knock down anymore. So I understand the point of that was maybe because they wanted her to corner carry you first, so her combos are in the corner. But I do think her mid-screen route being that lackluster is pretty bad for a point character because she can't consistently 2-touch.
Right.
It's just that, and take a little bit of recovery off her Hell Zone so that you can't normal guard cancel it on reaction, even if she uses single hit high block stun. I think that's a bit unfair for her.
There's actually one thing I want to mention about Kefla.
Oh, I have something else to say.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Excuse me.
I was gonna say her level 3. Like her level 3 fucking sucks. Why is it so
It is
slow?
too slow.
Like there's
It
so
is
many
too slow.
times I press them.
And I get it because it hits
so many
literally
times
full
you
screen.
gotta be careful.
That's what I'm saying. You can only buff that so much because it hits literally everywhere on the entire screen. So
I agree, but it shouldn't trade the
That's
key
kinda
blast.
cool.
Now that is
Yeah.
ugly. We can change that one. That one's ugly.
But what I
Funny
was
enough,
about
that's
to
the
say,
priority system, but they should do something to her super to stop
what
that.
is they need to change either the nerf lab coat on that or change Kefla, but there is no reason her 6H is -10, like literally being -10 while lab coat low crush and -5. I'm like, bro, what's the point of doing that?
again,
Kefla's is a little bit better.
I think
though.
that's.
I
I think that's just more of like it's kind of unfair to compare someone's tools to lab coat just because lab coat is lab coat.
Yes,
so I
but
feel
at
you,
least
but
make it
I do
safe.
feel you though. Yeah, I don't think it needs to be -10.
Sorry guys to interrupt, but I actually need to go. I didn't know it's the time.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Yeah.
Did you have something you wanted to add on to Kefla before you took off, or you got to go right away?
Fuck Kefla, man.
Oh,
What did she do?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Moving on to Kid Boo.
That's okay, man. That's
Clyde, you still there, buddy?
All right, there's 3 things I want for Kid Boo. And I feel like 2 are reasonable. Level 3 happy birthdays again.
That's fair.
Yeah, give it to me.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay, and his damage for his other level ones go back to what they
I
were.
think that's also
That's
fair.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the third thing I want, y'all gonna tell me no, but I want L command grab to be a grounded command grab where it grabs you
hell
on the
no.
ground. Man.
You had me in the first half. You had me in the first 2/3.
I'll give you 2 out of the 3.
That's all I want, right?
That'd be
Of course,
lit.
the supers are
How
reasonable.
fast is it?
It's 17.
Oh yeah, you got me fucked
No.
up. Yeah, you got me. Only if they make it like 21.
I'll take that, dude.
21 frame command grab?
Kid
Lab code's
command
debuff
grab,
is 21 frames.
the only time Kid
24.
Boo's command grab outside of like an OD, your fucking amazing read is like when they do a bad
Doing
vanish,
so well.
right? Because when did you ever see Kid Boo players EX command grab, right? Rarely, almost never. And a lot of the
Combos.
times it
Yeah,
was whip,
remember
right?
like
Combos
week
short,
1 of
but I mean
DBFZ
it as
of
a
getting
read.
snapped and getting joinked out of the air on snap. Good times.
Imagine that. That shit would have to be 30 frames. Nah, if Kid Buu had a command grab, that shit would dead have to be like 30 frames. That is completely unfair.
I
Well, man,
don't know, man.
But yeah, the first 2 for sure. The second one, I knew y'all were gonna pull snap.
I'll give you the first 2.
Anyway,
Krillin is
I was
safe.
actually a little hesitant on the super damage buff because his routing
Krillin's
is kinda
nerf assist.
Yeah, I think Krillin is mostly stay the same, but Rock's assist could be.
Nerf assist.
Could be
If we're nerfing Beerus assist, we gotta nerf Krillin.
I'll give you that for sure.
Do y'all think Senzu Bean should give 100% blue health, like all of it back?
Hold on. Before you get to that, hold on. I gotta stop you right there, Zane. Here's the thing: you can't call Rocks holding back like you can call Beerus holding back, right? It's an actual skill check.
That is a great
call.
point because you do get 2 different things.
That is true. But if you hit someone, Beerus orbs go away. If you hit someone, Krillin rocks don't go away.
That is also true.
That's fine. Beerus is a much better character than Krillin.
I do say that, like, I agree with that, but I do think, I don't remember if it was you or who it was, but I feel like there was a few people who were really underrating Krillin, in my opinion.
Yeah, Krillin is crazy. He's not top 10 or something like that, but he's barely out of it.
I feel like if you don't want to change his assist, make him a little bit weaker on point. I feel like he's doing the Vegito thing a little bit, where it's just like, yo, that is support is godlike, but you're actually boxing me while you're out too. Like, this is kind of crazy. Like,
I think his boxing, as you put it, right, is okay at best, right? Like he's good when you put him out there, but he's not gonna be.
He has broken
steamrolling.
set play on hit with the 2L low, bro.
I think Krillin is
What's
kind
the
of
broken
fine.
set
If you're
play?
tuning down anything, it's kind of just the assist a little bit, and other than that, I think
I think he's tuned down.
Yeah, tune down the assist. Everything else is fine.
I think Fat Boo is also very much in that category, like a Ginyu or Nappa, where he's already pretty good. Specialist character, some of the nastiest mix in the game. You kind of might need to build around him a little bit, but I think he's very
Give him a little
strong.
more damage. Give him a little more
Yeah.
damage.
Majin Buu's 6 touches.
Roshi,
I don't
give me
know.
damage.
For a mixing character like that,
I would say, like, well, a set play character should have lower damage, right? But also,
He actually can 2-touch too.
I was saying, like,
Yeah.
he's got the combos. They're just really hard. Apparently, I've never tried them for myself.
Can we just give Roshi his BSS back and call it a day?
Well, no, I'll give you
I
the
don't
first
know.
nerf. I'll give you first nerf be assist back. Not OG Roshi.
Yeah,
because
OG
Grant.
I do think Roshi is
OG.
also kind of underrated and underexplored right now. I think that character has a lot
This
of like
mother-
secret sauce that people aren't really.
This fucking
Yeah, Cloud?
character has his own specific scaling on 2-2H. Why does that shit?
Yo,
low
I was
crush
saying it's
and
low
anti-air?
crush,
low crush,
anti-air,
and it's a TOD.
right? And it's a TOD
Yeah,
starter.
and
Like,
This is what experience looks like. Stop playing with him.
that's what I'm saying. If you do what is it, 2-2S into whatever his fucking the other EX joint he has is, like, you get like 6K solo off of like B&B with that shit. It's insane.
I mean, he does unscaled EX launcher into EX move. Like
Yeah,
that
that's
is-
what I'm
your health
saying.
is you're gonna
It's
die.
ridiculous. It's like lab coat doing fucking, well, not quite the same, but it reminds me of 236H and the 236H. But
is that not what actually happened with her? The original one? That's kind of what was happening, right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's just Roshi's is a hit even harder because it's not a multi-hitting move. It's just single hit, then you explode. At least Lavco took some of her scaling or timer of the combo away because it's multi-hitting and shit.
And then Piccolo's the character that I think is good. Maybe he could still use some slight buffs. I feel like there have been so many points in this game's lifespan where Piccolo was really, really strong, but it just so happens that whatever character is like actual top tier or top 5, they have tools that specifically screw him over. So
what do you want to?
I have no clue. I don't play Piccolo. I have no clue.
Honestly, I feel like Piccolo is one of those characters where, in the context of the top 4 and the top tiers being toned down, he does not need changed.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like I feel
because he will go back to being broken as fuck.
The
like
only thing I could think of that would be fair is if when he throws out orb, if he holds the button down, he throws out the second one faster than just throwing them down one by one.
Maybe I've seen a tweet from as a Japanese player who played Piccolo. I don't remember his name, but he was asking for JH into elbow EX combo mid-screen. I will give you that. Yeah, why not? And the beam, like being able to confirm the beam with super dash would be good. But I think that's the only buff I will give him, because other than that, he will be way too good.
Because he still has one of the most broken assists in this entire game.
It is still a very powerful assist
right now.
And if Vegito got nerfed, Piccolo will literally be the next one.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, and then Baby, I think Baby is also
super. Baby,
yeah, I think he's perfectly fine as is.
The only thing I would say is his assist, right?
Fix the assist.
I feel like his assist worse fucks me up as the one having to deal with it, because I'll try to reflect it or hit him and I'll whip. Yeah.
Oh God, I've been like completely stationary at times, and that shit still messing. I'm like, how?
For sure. Tien.
They need to fix the A1.
Yeah, I think Tien is fine, but they'll probably just do something else that gives him more damage yet again, because that's all they ever do for this character.
Maybe
he is white bread, the character in this game. I think he's good, but like people talk about, I don't play this character because he's boring. No, people legitimately just don't play Tien because he's boring. The character's good.
I like making people explode.
I don't know. It's hype to play Tien. He's
he's solid.
Bro, you're doing a BNB and you're teasing people for doing a BNB.
Yeah, if you ever want to celebrate the 4th of July early, just play Tien.
Okay, y'all are saying that. This is the first time I'm hearing those words, because everyone I've ever heard talk about Tien say he's one of the most boring characters in the game.
No, isn't he hype?
I say yes.
Oh no, he's boring. Exploding people is the fun part.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
Isn't it hype to watch Kane doing one random combo when he's not?
I'm not gonna lie, Kasuga, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. You can,
good glass.
If you talking to me, you cannot put Kane and hype in the same sentence. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Watching Kane is look. That's not supposed to be shade. I know it sounds like that, but like Kane is not a hype player for me to watch, bro. I don't know. Nah, watching Kane play Team Gohan and Trunks and Broly, that was hype. The shit he played now, that's not hype.
I feel like he's hype.
I disagree.
Okay. I disagree too.
Trunks at the top of buff, please.
Jesus. Whoa. Relax.
Take care how you nerf that, how you buff that.
Trunks is bottom 3. I don't care what you say, Inzem.
Oh my God.
Wait, that was Cloud. I remember.
I think like bottom 3 in this game got to be like Trunks, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and maybe Yamcha. Like
Yamcha for sure. I think Yamcha's worse than Trunks.
I think those are the bottom 3 characters in the game. Like who's worse than Trunks, Inzem?
Yeah, dude.
All I gotta say is Trunks, a lot of the strengths top tier shares, he has them. The issue is they're backed behind execution and how expensive they are. So
that's
if you wanted to buff
though.
Trunks, it is a big deal. But it's also important to realize that, because if you put them in the buff category, which these characters receive considerable buffs, right, over slight buffs, you're going to break the hell out of them. You're going to break the hell out of him. Think about it. He has a post-level 3 mix-up that is a true guess, and he can spark bait it. He does have access to 50-50s everywhere. Granted, they can't be guard canceled, but, you know, that is still strong, forcing people to switch their team comps and stuff. He still has some of the best movement in the entire game. Like, probably the most flexible movement. Arguably, maybe outside of Zamasu, Flip is like really flexible.
Zamasu and Gohan are up there, but yeah, I give it to you. Obviously, Flip is very versatile.
And he has very strong counterplay neutral, especially to the things that are strong right now, which is Key Blast oriented stuff like Vegeta.
Yeah, CTF is pretty good.
You got to be a little careful how you.
So
Because in my opinion, if you do too much, he will become very, very
The
strong.
things I want
Like
for this character, though, aren't really that crazy in my opinion. I do believe he should be able to hit confirm 5S and CTF much easier. Give him a few more.
Take away his level 3 Oki. That's what they're gonna do.
What Oki, honestly? Because who's doing it? But not like, I mean, the Oki is strong, but it's very difficult. But yeah.
Wow, I boot that shit up every time. I think I've only ever seen him fuck it up once in his entire time playing that character in the last year and a half, and that was one time in the European
you can use an outlier.
We're talking about the literal best. We're talking about.
I do not believe a player can be an outlier. I disagree on that completely.
Okay, you could say that maybe a player cannot be an outlier, but we are talking about the literal single best player in the entire world at the game.
Okay, but Shanks.
But he's
every time.
And he's the only nigga too. Because when Goichi was trying to play Trunks, he was fucking that shit up. When I've seen anyone else try to play Trunks, they were fucking that shit up. Even Jersey Sage, who was like the most technical Trunks player, he wasn't getting that shit 100% of the time. He was getting it a lot, but
I don't know. The Trunk mains I know say it's actually pretty easy now. With
it is easier than ever before. Yeah, I will admit that, but it's still much more difficult in comparison to like 21's old level 3 or 18 current level 3 and shit like that.
It's like I do think one change I do want to see them make for him is have his level 3 just throw you the opposite way. That would already change a lot for him, funny enough. Or give him an alternate input so that he throws you backwards like Bardock can do it with like side switching level 3s. Maybe do something to his routing where he's not forced to spend as much meter as he is. Or I know a lot of people like to say
I want
meter penalty off his
I want
EX,
JS in the 236L mid screen.
Yeah, that could be cool. But like my thing is like I just have an interesting opinion on Trunks. A lot of people like to downplay him as one of the worst in the game, and I'm just like,
okay. No, so here's my thing though.
He shares a lot of similarities to top tiers.
He does, but he has the great value version of all those qualities though. So like my legitimate question to you is like, name me a few characters that you think are like a lot weaker than Trunks.
I won't even say great value. Some of them are like in the concept of them stronger. Like the tiers of level 3 mixes, for example, are like level 3 mixes that are just straight at guess, right? But the better ones are the ones that are a guess, but they can actually spark bait you, and the spark bait is identical to the actual mix. Right?
He does.
Those
have that.
are just the strongest. He has the strongest version of a level 3.
I guess
he has a 50-50 that can be used everywhere, even in the corner. With some characters like Vegito can only do a mid screen, right? Like he does.
Well, no, wait.
A lot of people like that. Like he doesn't.
If he hits you in the corner, no, he doesn't.
No, he can pull you out the corner auto combo, and yes, it can be guard canceled, right? That is a weakness, but he can do it.
I'm saying like if I do a combo, I guess there are some new like routes that I've seen that can give it to you if you're in the corner, but you have to obviously vanish and stuff. Yeah, well, that's another thing too. I put a lot of stock into a high execution barrier, I guess, and the obvious very meter dependency of those situations.
Yeah, which is why the buffs I suggested would fix how dependent he is on meter and his reward. As far as the execution, I realistically don't think that should be changed. I do like it when a character's hard. I just think their rewards should match that difficulty, similar to how base Cheetah works, which is why like I actually like how base Cheetah works.
Yeah, because base Cheetah has the same shit, but is much easier.
They're just better versions.
Definitely much easier, yeah.
The neutral is the hard part of Vegeta, not the other.
Well, they didn't used to be. It is now.
Base Cheetah.
Yeah. I feel like
Neutro's always been harder than other characters.
Okay, so base Vegeta is a character who I remember at one point people said like he was weak, and then we realized he was actually really good. Then they nerfed him, and everyone said he was trash again. And one of the things people would say was that he had weak neutral. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Between these key blasts and this rocket kick, I don't feel like my neutral's that weak. But now you can't really use that shit as well because of all the lariats and stuff in the game. But I think if like depending on what happens with lariats, I think base Vegeta's neutral is perfectly fine as it is. Like not the best, but it's good. That being said, though, I do think Trunks does need legitimate buffs. Inzem has a very different opinion from me. He does think the character's a lot stronger than I give it credit for. I think
he needs buffs too. I just said like I think he actually is in that category of a few wrong buffs and he would become one of the best. Right? Like that happened to Blue Gogeta. He went from one of the worst to damn near the best and very fast.
I think even back then Gogeta was stronger than people give credit for, but he was significantly weaker and wasn't amazing. But yeah, no, I feel you. I definitely understand what you're saying because he does have some of those tools that makes a character top tier. His are just locked behind a lot more resource and a lot more execution behind it. But they're just they don't even have to like change that stuff because for me the character becomes significantly better if I can actually hit confirm 5S, if I can actually hit confirm CTF, if I can get if I can get sliding knockdown mid screen, you know what I'm saying? Just certain those are damn near just quality of life things. Like they're legitimate changes, but just things that make actually playing the character and confirming these tools that are supposed to be so good actually good and like
I think like
consistent.
the side switching level 3 is like one of the biggest ones.
Yeah,
to be
and that
honest,
would
so he doesn't have to do specific routes that like hinder his damage meter
that
gain
would
just to get the chance to do
that
the
would also
mix-up.
be great. Yeah, I know it being me, I could spend all day on the character, but we've already spent so long. Blue Vegeta, I think, is really good and perfectly fine as is.
It should stay the same.
Wait, doesn't he have a bug though that still hasn't been fixed?
Does he?
The level 3 one, yeah, that still needs to be fixed.
What bug is that? How does that work?
The less meter one?
Yeah, the less meter one.
Nah, that shit got fixed because they took it away from Janimba too.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen that in a
If that's
while.
the case, I think he's literally fine. But you have some cloud.
There was
Y'all
a
think his
buff
assist should stay the
Adrian
chain
told me he
thing?
wanted for Blue Vegeta,
Which is
actually. So you know how Goku, right? Super Saiyan Goku will jump, do air beam, and point it downward to the same side mix you.
I want that shit with Big Bang.
Yeah, he wants that with Big Bang.
But he doesn't need that though because he uses mix from
Why?
Mecha.
Yeah, literally. Why would you do that?
Like that would be cool, right? And I wouldn't be mad that he has that, but he literally does not need it because he already gets mix.
Yeah, that's whatever.
His mix-up is by far like his issue is actually his support value to a team. That is
Hey,
it.
don't
It's not
argue
his
with me.
neutral.
No. I hear you.
understand that.
I'm
I
just saying, like, I don't know why of all
about
things
that.
that'd be something Adrian wants because he's already mixing people with Mecha.
Maybe it will make him better as an anchor, like a solo character, but that's literally not the character. You shouldn't play him.
Yeah,
as
he
an
should be a
anchor.
point regardless.
They
Also,
kind of scream at you to play.
I
him.
don't care what anyone says. His assist is good.
I
I
think
love his
the
assist.
B, I
Weird, but
think the
it's good.
B1 is the best, but A
No, I
is
think
not
A
that
is better.
bad.
A is better.
I
like
think
A
C is better than all of them.
What do you guys think about? What do you guys think about making his normals the same as the other Vegetas in terms of on block?
No.
Is it not already?
I was
No,
gonna say
basically, I think each of them are a frame less on block. So like instead of -2, it's -3. Instead of -3, it's -4. Stuff
I
like that.
mean, yeah. I mean, I don't.
I mean, Vegeta's is the only one with a -250. I think he's the only one that has that. I don't know. I feel like if they did want to change something about him, it would just be his support value a little bit. Like do something to his assist to make him a little bit better. Like take away the pushback on B assist a little bit so that he can actually enable mix-ups mid screens, something like that. A assist is a good assist. I hate to say that.
I've been trying to tell. I've been trying to tell people it's a good assist.
The mind games you can enable is not bad. I'll give it to it.
Thank you. And then if it does hit, it has 1,000,000 frames of hit stun.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
But it's like so weird.
But that's the thing. Is like it's just a weird assist. It's not a bad assist. It's a weird assist.
It's weird, but not a bad weird thing. Like it's good. Like you literally can play it. It's not.
And
as
it's a
bad
medium
as people
starter. I feel like
pretend.
you just lied to me. Is Blue Gogeta A assist a medium starter?
No. But y'all remember when base Goku A assist was a medium starter? Good times.
Oh,
What?
yeah, you could
Edit
COD
built
off it.
meter.
Yeah.
Edit built meter.
that was ridiculous.
Wait, his A assist built meter and it medium
Yes,
started.
when he first released.
Yeah.
But he can't have that. He can't.
No.
have that?
But the character himself was trash at the time. But the assist was ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Inzem, imagine 21 was able to TOD you from that assist only.
Yeah, that's
Super Saiyan Vegeta,
SJ Vegeta?
another one of the worst characters in the game right
I
now.
think
Great.
buff, buff.
Bring back
Buff.
A assist, bro. Bring back him being able to cancel Key Blast into light DP if you
He
super dash
can't?
him.
Wait,
No.
if you go through it, he can't.
No, that was a nerf thing. Unless they brought it back, but they nerfed that because they're like, damn, Goichi Fenrich? Not too strong. Nerf.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
feel
know.
like he
Unless they
can
brought
do
it
that.
back. They might have brought it back, but I haven't tried it since they got originally nerfed in like
It's
season
kind of
2 or
crazy how they
something.
would take that away from him. That's just a
Yeah, that's
system
stupid.
mechanic. That's just how the game works.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Anybody in chat fact check me here if they reverted it. But yeah, they nerfed it. And Fenrich and Goichi were like, damn, that's crazy. And then, Goichi dropped them and Fenrich was like, this is my bae.
He's my king. I can't.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty much unanimously agreed that Vegeta is one of the weakest characters in the game, and he needs some definite help.
He needs some new routes. He ain't got no bombos.
I'm gonna do these next ones.
Maybe make that rocket kick not just perish.
I'm gonna do these next ones a bit out of order.
Character needs
As we
buff.
wrap it up, I think Videl and Base Vegeta are both perfectly fine as they are. I would personally like to see Base Vegeta get a buff to his rocket kick again, but he don't.
Yeah,
All I want is to give him. All I want for Vegeta is make his light rock kick 9 frames. Some people tell me I'm asking for too much. I'm like, I feel like I'm not.
I don't think
but
that's a
whatever.
huge ask.
It's 11 frames right
Yeah, I
now.
mean, we fucking blew Goku's shoulders 9 frames round start, and it's Ki Blast
and
and
it's Ki
Vol.
Blast and
So
Is it M starter?
Yeah, but all
yeah.
of them are. That's just a thing all of them
Yeah.
have, to be honest.
And
I don't
Videl,
think there's
Videl's a character I
anybody
think
there
is
that's
supremely strong. I always wanted to reflect for her, but I get why she doesn't have it. It just kind of sucks. But she has some of the best mix in the game. She's got damage out the ass. She's got really sick combos. Videl's really, really strong. She could probably maybe use some tweaks to like her Gohan calls or whatever. But I think the character is really, really good and in a really good spot.
At best, buff the damage on level 1, but that's it.
The one thing I wanted for her was she could basically Rekka her Gohan calls.
That'd be
like just rapidly call them, or
like you can go Gohan call.
Yeah, exactly. There's no like delay, like I have to wait 40 frames. For Gohan back. It's more
no
so
cooldown
like
on it like you do with like 17 assist calls.
There's a cooldown, but it's not like the 30-40 that she has to wait. It'd be like 10-15.
Does she have more cooldown than 18?
I don't know. I
don't.
Gohan do be posing before.
I would say I don't know the numbers, but you are locked out of Gohan for a while. It feels like after you call it.
I think that's fine. Let's just make it though where she can do that, but she has to go into a different Gohan call rather than just doing rather than just doing the jails into Vanish or the anti Super Dash Saiyaman.
So
kick,
almost
just doing that one over and over again.
Almost kind of like Ginyu with his Ginyu Force calls.
Exactly. You just have to go into a different one, and then after that, you have to do kick into stomp, and then after the stomp, you could then choose to go back into kick or do something. You have to do something besides doing the kick over and over again.
I got fat checked and checked. Yeah, you can't LDP after out of Key Blast.
Like right now.
Still, he
like
apparently they tested it.
I'll take that. I was take their word for it.
Can't cook you for super dashing. What?
I mean, the next 3, I don't think we need to.
I was saying, like, we're throwing Yamcha in buff. Obviously, 21 Gogeta Vegito.
I mean,
that's my boy. That's my boy.
First, like literally
for
first.
Sure.
Zamasu,
I think he's.
I think
he needs.
I was just saying, I think Zamasu is fine for now, but when the new changes come through, he gonna need a slap on the wrist.
All I gotta say
brother.
is just take away the frame 1 whiff cancel that is invincible.
I also think just personally think the 2H is a little crazy. Just a tiny bit, but that's just me.
Yeah, a bit crazy, not gonna lie.
What I wanted for him was, and then Zane gave me his perspective on it. I said flight time should be cut in half. Zane said flight should be slower.
Yeah, I said flight should be slower because the main issue with characters not being able to catch him is that he flies as fast as they run.
Yeah, you can't catch him.
So if they run faster than he flies, he's much easier to catch because once he dashes through, if you jump at him, then you can just super dash at him and you're in on him. Where right now all you could do is super dash at him and then just dashes through. And even if you make that frame 4 in Vol, Zamasu players will adjust to just dash to it anyways. The same way Janemba players can J2H a super dash.
Yeah.
I just don't like the idea of a frame 1 whiff cancel that is invincible from a beam. Like, the idea of just saying that out loud doesn't make sense. I feel like it's one of those like belligerent options that just shouldn't exist. Same thing with like lab coat spin, Blue Gogeta's Lariat being a medium starter. Vegito's original 5M, I think it's on that par of like, why do you have a frame 1 invincible whiff cancel? Like, you're whiff canceling a frame 1 invincible move. Like, come on now.
The thing that blows my mind about that real quick is that how it gives you the smash property and you always get the confirm after it. And if you have 1 assist, they're gonna fucking die. You could have
like it OS itself too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you get the smash property if they're right on top of you though. I gotta say that at least.
If they're not, they block it. Then you dash
if they're not, again, I'm not saying anything. I'm only talking about the smash property. I'm not saying. I'm not trying to downplay how stupid beam into dash is.
It's pretty crazy.
It's a little overtuned. That's all.
There are some things against it, but those are very far and few between. So,
yeah. Overall, Zamasu is another one of those characters I had in my picks for. I don't think I rate him as highly as Cloud does, but I did think he was in that conversation for maybe that top 5 spot.
Cloud had him in top.
Yeah, Cloud and his chat have been trying to spread the propaganda to me that Zamasu was like top 1. I'm like, I don't think he's that high on the list, but he is up there.
Not top. Why would it be top 1?
But I did think he was up there with like Janemba, Beerus, Hit maybe as well, and 18. But
I think it's him or Zamasu for me. Him or Janemba.
Yeah, those are.
I think like the top tiers are so like close to each other in strength that whenever I look at somebody say, "Oh, this is the 5th best character," or "This is the 5th best character," I'm like, I don't agree, But I understand.
So that's my thing, is that I feel like the top 4 are very, very close together, and they are a noticeable difference, like above, or like a noticeable gap above the rest of the characters. But then you have so many other characters who are very similar in strength, at least in my opinion, right? And that's why I have so many ones that I'm like, oh, they're in the conversation for like top 5, because that 5th spot is really open to a large pool of characters. Because after that fall off from Fusions and Lab Coat, I just feel like the game's pretty well balanced after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then if we just want to do a quick drive-by on like Lab Coat, Gogeta, and like Vegito, obviously, like I think we could all probably agree, like Gogeta should not have medium scaling on his Lariat. Vegito should have some whiff recovery on some of those specials. Maybe snap the 5M. Lab Coat has a number of things.
Snap it.
Well, I mean, you know,
breakers are, man.
Like give it some more recovery, or like nerf the range, something. Like they toned it down. I still feel like it's a little OD.
They gave it the SJ Goku treatment.
Well, yeah.
Or the one they gave him now.
Yeah. Beyblades should not turn around. They should not
auto correcting
right?
on spin should probably go. I understand why it does the way that it does, but
smash.
Yeah. What if they just start treating it like an actual DP?
Yeah, 214H should be a DP, right? If it's blocked, you explode. You know,
realistically, I thought it was a DP. Like when I looked at the move and initially came out, I was like,
we definitely use it like a DP.
No, like I swear they actually had that move as a DP when they were like making her. They decided against.
I mean,
like it's 9 frames. I felt like that was a dead giveaway.
I mean,
like,
maybe like
a rising 9-frame move. I was like, I feel like they thought this was the DP and they changed their mind.
It should be a DP.
Yeah, the crazy thing about H spin is even if you reflect it right on your level 3 Oki, I'm Gogeta 4, I do double air dash, medium back S in case they spin to reflect it, right? It's so fucking long they could call an assist, right? And you can't hit anything. Yeah, she gets past assist lockout from H Beyblade, calls an assist, and you're like, damn, that's crazy. I have to hold this next mix up.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Yeah, I mean that's the list, and it's funny because I mean there are some slight differences, but this looks very similar to basically I mean obviously I was a big contributing factor. Go on.
You forgot Yamcha. You just put him up in buff, and we didn't say
anything. We spoke very briefly.
I threw
him up there. We didn't spend a lot of time, but I threw him up there. It was like, yeah, we all agree Yamcha's one of the weakest characters in the game. He needs to be buffed, and then we kind of just moved right past it. I mean, is there anything in particular you wanted to talk about with him?
That character needs God.
Make it where at least if his 5M hits at any range, make his 2M not whip at farther ranges.
Maybe I don't know if that's like you buff the hitbox on the 2M or if you like bring them in closer or what.
More active.
Just make him
more
go,
active.
Bring him go farther. So he's got one of like the smallest 2Ms ever. Just make him a larger 2M.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. I also don't think he needs that much with recovery on Wolfang. I think they went OD with that, both him and
they were destroyed that.
Yeah,
move.
that and base Vegeta rocket kick. Like I don't mind there being whiff recovery on it. That makes sense, but they just went so ham with it.
I think H Hurricane should give him a ground bounce because he air to airs you, and then what the fuck can you do?
You just spin.
Right?
I don't play Yamcha, but I know like Faulty Thing, he plays him. He was like a huge fan of the character. He was what I was hearing him talking about the characters. He believes as if the character actually doesn't need a change in his like mix up or like damage. He thinks it's just neutral. Like he wanted him to have like his S, like how it hops backwards. He wanted him to have a different one that stays in place or is forward advancing so he can get a little bit aggressive with it and like take some of the recovery off the Wolfang. But he believes the character's issue lies in the neutral.
I mean, they have buffed his combo game significantly, I feel like.
He does a lot of damage.
Damage is
especially
pretty
in the
good.
corner.
Mix is okay. And then his buttons and neutral are.
You guys say his damage is good, but I think he has one of the worst. At least when it comes to air to air.
I mean, yeah, mid screen his damage still isn't amazing, especially off of an air to air interaction. But in the corner and then obviously off of like a 2H or something like that, he gets still pretty decent damage.
Someone in my stream said he hits 4.6 off a 2-0.
In the corner.
As long
in the corner, I believe it.
That's still very high.
Yeah.
As long as Yamcha can get high enough to be able to do the dive kick into the Wolfang Fist, he's got good damage and good meter gain. The problem is he can't always do that off every hit.
Yeah, because he doesn't have a conventional J2H, right? So he can't position himself high enough anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know that. What if they give him something like Videl, where mid screen off of something like a Vanish, he can 2H into Super Dash mid screen, which then gets him into that dive into Wolfang Fist. Gives him more consistent mid screen combos.
I mean, you could still do it off of a Vanish, but you have to like dash, like medium, like you have to delay every air hit to get yourself at the height.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So it just make it where he could do 2H into Super Dash even without the smash property.
I agree.
All right.
I mean, this list looks pretty.
Yeah, I think this list makes a lot of sense.
Yes, to me.
I mean, obviously, there are going to be some people who
crazy
have
how
some
this thing
disagreements,
changed,
especially
man.
if it's about a character that they play. But for the most part, I think this is very, very reasonable.
I like how Vegito's in Nerf instead of tone down assist, even though everyone knows the assist needs to go too.
I mean, he needs both.
That's the. Yeah, we don't exactly need to say that. Everybody knows what we mean about Vegito.
Well, I mean, I would like his legs not to space him so goddamn far when I block him.
I love that. Don't take that away from him.
Here we go.
Take
He's supposed to be the block string.
I'd also like to be able to punish those when they whiff, but you know, that's.
You can have that. Like, let me keep the spacing though. That's like, come on. He's supposed to have annoying block strings. That's the point of him.
So that was the point of him when he had a lot less than what he has now, or when people
yeah. He's always been catch me if you can. I'm about to piss.
Yeah,
you
so
off.
he was always supposed to be neutral the character, but he's so much more than that now.
Yeah, neutral and pressure the character, and then they was just like, oh, we're gonna give you even better neutral and better.
Yeah, I was saying we're gonna give you better neutral and
what...
better block strings. And oh, by the way, you've had mix all along, and then you also have this mix. We're giving you more damage. We're giving you better reward.
I'm pretty sure his intended design was that he's supposed to be a strong support character, but once he's in, he just is meant to piss you off in neutral and block strings. Not necessarily be able to hit you easily, but like if you get impatient, he's gonna check you for it, right? So you can't get impatient, so you just have to wait. And then they like overtuned his kit, so he's doing that. And he's also kind of being a point character. While also having, like, really
I think Vegito's a character who, and I again biased, but I always had this opinion. When he came out, he was better than people gave him credit for. Then they actually nerfed him because he had ridiculous meter gain and stuff. I remember JS giving you like 6 million bars and shit. So they toned him down, and people didn't think he was that good. It's just over time he started like kind of creeping up, and then he got to a point where I was like, "Hey, yo, like." I know y'all want to hear this because like I hate the character, but I think he's like really, really good right now. And then he got buffed severely like 3 more times, and now here we are. And like even the assist has always been good, and then they overtuned the fuck out of it. Like it was a great neutral assist, but now it's the best defensive assist in the game, and 1 million frames of hit stun that you can easily confirm off of from full screen and shit. It's just like, at what point was it enough slices with this nigga, bro?
It's actually funny because I feel like Vegito becoming that was a little intentional because they buffed him on point, right? I don't think they took into account what the system mechanic changes were going to how much it's going to
right, because and that's another thing too about these top 4.
like
part of the reason why these top 4 are top 4 is
like...
because they benefit so much from the mechanic changes.
Yeah, it's like I feel like like the level 4. Out of all the changes he got, the level 4 was the one that made the most sense to me. In my opinion.
Why? Like, why do you have that?
No, because he was a support.
But it was so
right? Like that's what they wanted from him. So that was
but
like,
at
okay,
what point
so
because
a little bit more killing
because
potential, and then they made him stronger on point.
But for why? He already had so much damage.
But at least make it level 5.
No, I meant like so like he like they wanted him for a support character, right? That was very clear. My thing is like out of all the changes they gave him, like though I was looking through the patches, I was like level 4. I was like, that's kind of OD. And I thought about it. I was like, oh, that makes sense. Same reason why they give Trunks level 2. Right? I was like, okay, I see what they're doing. But then they also gave him the other things, and I was looking down the list. I was like, all right, this 5M is crazy. I'm like, I don't know
speaking of level 4, like going back to Trunks real quick, y'all need to do something about this fucking level 2. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to say, oh, but if you whiff it, it's not worth it, and it's situational. You got to set it up certain ways or play certain teams. Buff the fucking level 2, man. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I agree on that, but for Vegito, I think Inzem you're thinking way too deep. Like they're not that smart for the developer. They only see the other blue have a level 5. They said, oh, okay, he needs a level. And
then also they just did it because he did it in the anime when he fought the monsters. They're like, I guess we'll give it to him.
I legitimately think they did that with the intention of giving him a support character. The only characters who got extra,
but why did he need to be?
Are the characters who were support ones or who are meant to be playing in support?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't
give characters that.
I don't agree with the idea that that's how they were looking at him because I just don't think that was the intentional design.
So Why do you? I mean, it's very clearly he's clearly a support character though, right? We can all agree on that.
He is,
at least by intention. They wanted him to
maybe
support, right?
now, but I don't think that was his original intention. And they buffed him a lot more in other ways, and then also buffed him as a support when it's like, okay, they made him where he has both instead of one or the other.
Yeah, which is why I said when they made during the season 4 patch, when they wanted to nerf the support out the game, they made a mistake by not taking his support. Like I said, they took the support away from most of the other characters, right? Like Baby lost his support values, Roshi lost his support values, but then they're like, okay, we're gonna give you stuff on point to kind of make up for that. They kind of like GTA lost his assist. They really wanted to eliminate support like characters more, but then they let Vegito keep his, but they also gave him the buffs on point, right? That's what I said was the actual issue. What happened with Vegito? Like realistically, if they took away his support value, like they did every other character, but gave him those changes on point, I don't think a lot of people will agree or like have a problem with him. He would just be a very.
I would still hate him, but he would be much less of an issue. Yes.
Yeah, the nature of how his game plan is, you're not meant to like him, right?
Well, yeah, he was obnoxious on everything. He was obnoxious on day one.
He's obnoxious. He's meant to be obnoxious, right? Like that's just the point of him. Like. But like they let him keep his support while also making him that stronger point, which is where
honestly you nerfed
now,
the assist, and I'm significantly happy with what the character is. But there's a couple other things I want to see.
Also, to me, they need to make the sword JS a key blast, not a beam.
No, that needs to be a beam.
No.
I mean, if you do it, I'm not gonna complain. I don't know if that's necessary, but I'm not gonna complain if that happens.
That's the point. Or that's literally the point of Spear Sword. It's a fast,
give it some more recovery or something on whiff or on.
I mean, it has a shit ton of whiff recovery.
My issue with
or
that
make it so that you can't special cancel. I don't know, something.
that move's
reduce the scaling.
Hitbox is
too
wide.
It is deceptive. JS is deceptively wide because it doesn't look like it feels like it hits you from a lot wider than the actual sword is, which I guess probably is the case. But it's like I'll be in game. I'm like, that shit did not touch me, bro. But here I am in this combo now.
Say, y'all have an issue with JS, actually?
Yes.
And I'm only asking because this is the first time I've heard people actually have an issue with the JS.
Like, to me, the situation where he air-to-air me into sword in the air, I think you see the situation, I mean, right? We're in air-to-air, then he did his sword, and you do jump to 3-6H after it, that needs to go. Like,
jump
it needs to be a key blast. Yeah, to avoid the situation.
I mean, he just checks you for trying to move, right?
Yes, but no. Like literally, you were doing air to air. You shouldn't put me in jail in a jail situation from that.
He doesn't. It doesn't jail at frame traps. But the thing about him is, I don't know. Like he's very clearly designed to be very strong in the air. Obviously, right? Like everything he does is like unbroken in the air.
He's also very strong on the ground.
I can throw key blasts in the air.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, yeah. They strengthened him on the ground, which was the interesting decision. Why I said when I was looking at the patch notes, I was like, all right, I don't know if he needed this, but like he definitely is meant to be like one of the strongest aerial characters, right? Like anti-air grab, his key blast only is in the air, GS is in the air, whatever, air level 3, and like everything's aerial, right? So like him being able to do that makes so much sense to me. I don't know.
Well,
that one at least I was just like I've never seen one complain about that one. Like the JS situation, I'm like, all right, he checked you in the air. It's not even if he takes a turn from that. By the way, you just don't air dash where you do most other characters. You have to
like you make sense when you bring up points like this, but for me, it's just like it feels like they never actually picked one or the other. It's like okay, this was originally what we were gonna do. Now we're changing the idea of what this character is, but we're not nerfing these other options. We're just gonna keep improving these other options that we want him to do now without taking away from anything else. So it's just been constant, like him getting better in every way.
Yeah, so like we live in the world where this is what he is, not what he could be.
Yeah. So the thing about Vegito though is right, he's meant to be strong in the air, right? By clear design, it's everything he does in the fucking air. But he also was meant to have a strong mid range. He's always had a strong mid range, even before these buffs.
Very much so.
Like before everyone got the buffs, his mid range was also ridiculous.
It was always really good.
So I'm pretty sure what happened was they're like, okay, we're gonna strengthen the overall mid range of the game, right? A lot of characters got that change, and they looked at him and was just like, well, your mid range is supposed to be better than everyone, so I guess we'll make it better than what the current standard is, and that should happen. I'm not defending it. I think it was a very bad idea, but like I'm actually 100% sure that's exactly why he got that 5M like that. Because they wanted to keep his mid range better than most other characters. They increased everyone else's mid range, so it's just like
I just want to point out, and it's funny because like on one hand, I feel where you're coming from. Obviously, I don't agree with everything you say, but you do make some really logical points. But someone in chat was like, Inzem talking about bottom 3 chunks, like if they buff him, he gonna be broken. But then also saying, nah, the fusions are supposed to be like this.
Well, wait. For the person who said that in chat, let me ask you: before Blue Gogeta was buffed, where did most people have him on?
I
the tier
disagree.
list? Was it not
I
bottom
disagree
3?
with that placement though.
Yeah, no. I obviously you could disagree, but I'm saying where most majority of the opinion was he was around that low, right?
I mean, yeah.
Now, what happened after a few
no.
changes to him?
So,
and the change
mind you, the
what
person who said that is a regular in my stream. The person who said that is a regular in my stream. So he's been around long enough to know that I was one of those people saying that about Gogeta. Is like, if they do this to this character, you're all gonna hate him because he's gonna be too strong. And then that's exactly what happened. So he knows. I just thought it was funny when I saw the comment.
And the reason that's the case is because even the worst character in the game is still a good character. There is no bad characters in the game by any means of the stretch, right? So when you look at a tier list and you look at whoever's the worst in the game, a lot of people can get that confused with, oh, he's just bad. Like that's also why I say when I make tier lists, I feel like the letters matter a lot. I feel like the lowest tier is like A.
Yeah, because I don't think
So, like,
any of these characters are
because
like
that is the-
awful fighting game characters. They're just in the context of this game. Yeah, they're weaker than these ones.
So like because it's like that though, even characters like Goku, Black, Trunks, whatever, SJ, Vegeta, they're a few changes away from just being like too strong, like Gogeta level 2. I mean, we've seen what happened with Blue Gogeta. He's a
depending on what
example
changes
of that,
they
right?
get. I mean, I guess you could say that about any character, really.
Yes, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's like that. Everyone. I'm just saying, like, it's also true for the low tiers, which I don't think people realize.
But they're only strong if Vegeto's there, right, Inzem?
Depending on how they work, they need that support, right? Like Blue Gogeta would still be as belligerent as he is if GTA also existed. He just needs a very strong supporting.
I was to say, I think
him.
Gogeta Blue is just a very strong, especially point character in general, as long as he has. Oh, go on.
I disagree with that GT take because you could snipe GT with the Ki Blast. You can't snipe Vegeta away. So I disagree.
Shooting Ki Blast against him in neutral, though, if he's setting up his structure, is pretty dangerous. So I know what you're saying, but like just a strong supporting assist in general.
Yeah,
right?
they're just more options to
Like
to
him
hit.
with Krillin Rocks is also just as damn near annoying to fight. It's just like, oh my god, I can't. What makes you weak doesn't matter anymore. Like assist that does that for him. But like I know what you mean. Like Vegito, it being like very hard to snipe is an issue. That's why Vegeta can't fight him. He's just supposed to snipe assist and he can't snipe that damn assist. But like, yeah. Library on the whole, they gave them a level 2-4 because their support characters thing from earlier. Yeah, no, they just gave characters extra things to kind of help with what they were good at. I do think the only reason they gave Vegito and Trunks level 2s is because they were played in support roles traditionally and they wanted to let them support even more. I think that was I thought that was like pretty obvious.
I just feel like it was an
received extra
I
supers.
feel like it was an
is,
extreme
like,
oversight
those
in
characters.
Vegito's case.
No, I think Vegito actually, it was fine for him to have it. I'm not going to say he needed it because I don't think he needed it. But when he had it, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then I looked at the other changes and I'm like, all right, so wait, you made him stronger as a support and you broke him on point. I was like, this is going to end terribly. Like I literally called it. I was like, this is about to be terrible. And he's my favorite
I think
character.
we're basically
right?
saying the
but
same
even
thing.
I don't
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I just they improved him in all aspects and just didn't think maybe he should only be good in one of these areas
weird.
instead of both of them.
And again, I swear to God, it wasn't on purpose. It's a Dragon Ball game. Right before things started popping off again, Tor started going off. They buffed the fusions.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't
the
I don't doubt
money
that
makers,
either. Like
so
they're
on
DLC
purpose.
characters, they're the fusions, they're historically some of the strongest characters in Dragon Ball games, some of the most popular characters in Dragon Ball games, and just some of the most iconic and popular characters in general. I don't doubt that actually does play somewhat of a factor. But obviously we all agree
Is it
that
helping
they're
them support
overtuned.
more. Think like how when reason why. Sorry,
No,
to cut
you're
you off,
fine.
by the way, but think about how like people pick TN to secure 2 touches on teams. Like having strong beater dumps is a support value. Having a character in the back who's able to dump a lot of resources to guarantee kills is good because your point character, you can choose characters like Majin Buu, Kefla, or whoever can struggle to 2-touch a little bit and have that extra safety net. I'm like, all right, I will kill you with the sequence because this character's on the team. Think of it like that.
Yeah, I think that'll do it. 5-hour stream. Honestly, that wasn't too bad. I know obviously we've lost a lot of the bunch at this point, but I had a lot of fun today. I think we came to some pretty good conclusions, had a lot of great discussion, and hopefully everyone out there in the streaming and the YouTube video enjoyed it. I have no idea how I'm gonna upload all this because this is basically like 4 hours at least worth of content that I have that I don't know if I'm gonna split it up or just throw that bitch up on there or what. But
So I'm going to assume we're going to release this to Twitter and watch the world burn.
Yeah, for sure. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody who came through today. The biggest shout outs to Cloud, Inzem, Kasuga, and Zane who are still here, but then also shout outs to Dekillsage who was here earlier, Kali Mac, Pred, Nitro, Obi. I would still shout out Wade, he came through, but that boy uttered like 3 syllables the whole time, and then he knocked out.
Bro.
But Yeah, just big shout out to everybody. For those of you who are probably wondering, by the way, because I did invite Yasha. He said he would be interested or whatever. But when I did message him, he also said that he wasn't really active on social media right now, so if he might miss some messages or whatever. And so after we had that conversation, and then I came back to extend the offer with the Discord and everything, I never did hear back from him. So hopefully he's doing well. Might just be taking some time off because I know we all could use some time to decompress and just deactivate from Twitter and shit once in a while. So I don't blame him for that. But shout out to him regardless. And yeah, man, I had a lot of fun here today. I'm gonna probably end up taking off and wrapping up my streams. You boys got any closing remarks before I dip?
Yeah, make sure y'all. Oh, you can go ahead and.
I'll just say Bandai, whoever, please, for watching it, please make Base Goku playable. I just want to play my favorite character. That's all I want to do. That's all. That's all. I just asked for him to be playable, not broken, just playable.
Anything else? Anyone?
Next time, Obi and other people bring up the nobody plays hit excuse, and then they bring up how Zamasu and Beerus needs to be nerfed. I want to point it right back at him.
Now I'm thinking about this. My plan for this, for those of you who don't know, I made a Discord server, right, which is where we're all in order to have this thing happen. And originally I was going to be like, okay, well, once it's all over, I'll just smoke it. I'll just delete it because I just don't think there'll be any use for it after. But honestly, with all the people I have in here, I feel like this is a great little place for the players and creators to all just be linking up on some content type shit. So I don't know if any of y'all want to stick around. Maybe I should leave this open. We can come back, talk about the patch whenever it does come up, or have other discussions, because I'd be more than welcome to have you guys back both on my stream and on my YouTube channel. So if y'all are down, I would be down to let this thing stay up and rock.
Brother.
Just the DBFZ roundtable?
Well, I mean, you know what I've been saying for a while? You know, this is like a great reference point for me, even though their outcome wasn't that good. Y'all remember that whole big e-girl blow-up thing on Twitter?
No, actually, I don't look at stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Anyways, all these e-girls got together in a group chat so they could just, you know, help share each other's shit, right? I was like, why don't fighting game people do that?
I mean, I'm down, especially like in a community like we have with DBFZ, because like I didn't think about it this way until literally just now, because I was just gonna delete the server, but I've already got a bunch of people in here, and we could bring in even a few more names and stuff. I think it'd be cool to have like a space where we can converge and obviously conversate about what's going on with the state of the game and create content and stuff.
Yeah, share each other's content on social media. It's like if one of us eats, we could all eat, right?
Oh, for sure.
Tweet, bro. Oh, hey man, are you free? You know, on XYZ.
Yeah, and I just think it's a really convenient way for just everyone to be in contact with each other and then all at once and shit. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it up. If people want to interact and engage, then it's there. And if not, and it dies, then it is what it is. But the option will definitely be here, and I'll be around. So.
Yeah, and especially if rollback is good.
Oh yeah, especially say if that rollback is hitting when it do drop. Oh, you already know we pulling up.
For like newer players too, this is like really helpful too. Like especially because like when I was newer to the game, I used to look at little things like this and it helped a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, if anything, after the next patch, we'll treat it like the battle hour when lab code came out. We could all come together and say this is broken, and we're all going to hate it.
But we're all also going to use it. But all right then, boys. I'm gonna get up out of here. Once again, I can't thank you all enough for coming through and kicking it with your boy, especially for you guys who stuck around through this entire thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and step up out of this Discord. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up my stream. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all boys be easy, man.
All right,
later.
Take it easy, y'all. Have a good night, everybody.
That's gonna do it for me, boys and girls. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the discussion. I have a lot of footage to go through here. I don't know exactly how I'm uploading this to the YouTube channel, but a lot of great discussion happening here today. Obviously this is the list that we ended up compiling and coming up with, and a huge shout out to everybody for coming through, man. Greatly appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay tuned for all this content I'm gonna bring you. With all that being said, special off today, remember nothing can happen to you. Swing the bat. Later.